The Monsters of the Midway had made it now 4 wins in a row after defeating the New Orleans Saints at the Lakefront 26-14. The next matchup will occur in Baltimore next week against presumably Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. In basketball, the Bulls, they'll get set to tip off the season on Wednesday, but the rest of the league showcase will start tomorrow with the return of the NBA on NBC. In baseball, hold the champagne. It's on ice because we have a Game 7 of the American League Championship Series between the Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays. The Dodgers will represent the National League starting Friday in the 2025 Fall Classic. That and the review of this past weekend's college football games and a whole lot more at Second City Sports of the Best Victory Monday edition starts right now. Welcome to this Bears Victory Monday edition of Second City Sports. You're locked and loaded, and we're live in living color right here on Sports Soul Chicago, along with Miss LaKeena McGee, which is she. I am Sidney Brown. Hey, here is me. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter, X, and the IG at SidKid80. Once again, it's SidKid80. That's SIDKID80. That's SIDKID80.
You found LaKeena McGee on the Twitter, X, and here's again, IG.
Be sure to download that Sports Zone Chicago app wherever you get your apps. Please follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, so Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube. And thank you very much in advance for your support.
Like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends.
We're unapologetically fun, and we have very definite opinions. If you have any definite opinion during our 2-hour extravaganza we call a Sports Talk Radio Show, you better hit us up at Sports Zone Chicago's Facebook page or at Sports Zone Chicago on YouTube. Type in those questions or comments in the comment section. LaKeena will get them up on the screen for you. But you decide to troll and or do something silly, dumb, or stupid, I forgive LaKeena for powers to give you dumbos to bill and beer boot.
Toodles.
But before we begin, shout out to our live game. That's LIVE Live Entertainment game that's checking us out right now on our Sports Zone Chicago's Facebook and YouTube channels at 12:03 p.m. Central Standard Time. But let's not forget much love to the replay game. Checking us out on the replay, also at Sports Zone Chicago's Facebook and YouTube channels. Don't you ever forget our motto, where we talk about sports, music, or entertainment. We will always provide.
Everybody with some of the best here on Second City Sports. We got an action-packed show for you guys today here. We got our NBA Power Hour with our illustrious panel of experts. You probably know a few of them, so we'll have that coming up at the top of the hour. We'll talk college football, as there were definitely some upsets. The Blackhawks are 3-0-1 their last 4 games. Half the World Series is set with the Dodgers back there, but they got to wait another couple of days because the Blue Jays and the Mariners face each other tonight in a Game 7, a winner-take-all in the ALCS. Of course, we got our suds and duds and so much more, but we're here early because, like I said, we got an action-packed first hour, so let's get right to it here and recap Bears Saints. The Bears held off the Saints, I should say, 26-14. Caleb Williams threw for 172 yards. DeAndre Swift, again, a season high, 124 yards in a rushing TD. Kyle Monangai, had 81 rushing yards in a TD, but it was really the defense. They sacked Spencer Rattler 4 times. They got 3 interceptions, another takeaway as well. They actually lead the league in takeaways. Talk about the Bears defense. So, but it's actually, this is actually the first time the Bears have beaten the Saints since 2008 in the regular season. So I guess they were overdue for a win there. But yeah, they've won 4 in a row. They're 4-2. I mean, look, I know people want to get all puffy chested and such, but it's the Saints. I mean, the Saints have one of the worst rush defenses in the NFL. Of course, DeAndre Swift is going to have his best showing again for the second straight game. And so I'm just like, okay, you're 4-2. You took care of business. Okay, whatever.
Well, you sound like a pessimist Cleveland Browns fan. We'll get to Cleveland in just a moment, but a win is a win for the Chicago Bears. Did Caleb Williams play well? No, but your other areas of your team will have to step in and step up. And that's what happened with the running game yesterday. The offensive line played very well despite Chris Dahlman's two false start snaps. So, bro, you got to snap the ball. It's easy. You learn that in Pee Wee in grade school. Snap the damn ball. Instead of fake snapping it. That's not going to work. But I digress. The actual Swift, as you mentioned, LaKeena, I still don't know if he's long for this Johnson's offense, but he's making fools out of you and me and everybody else in between these last couple of weeks. We'll see if that can keep up. I like how Monangai, he had his best game as a pro yesterday. Congrats to him scoring his first NFL touchdown. So the running game looked great. I know Romaduze didn't have his best game again for the second week in a row. I guess defense is starting to pay attention to him now, but I like how the tight ends, few and far between, got involved yesterday. I like the way that Luther Burns started getting inserted into the offense. I like that aspect of it. On the flip side of the defense, it's nice to see Montez Sweat. You can cheer for that. You can cheer for that. Tremaine Edmonds, an interception and a sack. You can cheer for that too. But see, here's the thing, LaKeena, we warned you guys about this on our last show last Friday. Even though the score in the actual game wasn't as dramatic as the previous two wins against the Raiders and the Commanders, it wasn't as dramatic. But sometimes, I'm not going to sit here and say the Bears are a good team. Yes, they are 4-2, but sometimes you got to win the games when you're not playing your best, and you can't get away with stuff like I mentioned with the offensive line fake snapping against better teams. But you take them where you can get them. But I like the way that Ben Johnson set the tone at the press conference yesterday following the game. We still got to correct our mistakes. You still got to clean up on the penalties, and we still have a long way to go. And when you work in progress, moving way up, you still got to overcome some things, some obstacles. And the Bears team, as of right now, is headed towards up. I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to the playoffs or anything like that. As we told you guys before, we'll say it again. The NFL is a week-to-week league, and so far the Bears are trending up. This 4-game winning streak is not by mistake. You play the teams that you play on the schedule. You don't apologize for it, but wins are hard to come by in this league. And compared to what this team was last year in 4-2 before the wheels fell off, I'm liking this version of this 4-2 Bears team. Last year's team was garbage. This team right now, you're not satisfied, but you start to see some signs unlike a year ago.
Yeah, but you can also look at it and say it could be 2-4. They could be 1-5. Look, I'm not one of those, but look, I know people want to tell people how to fan. It's like, well, shut up and just be happy. No, because there's a lot of look, Caleb Williams. Yeah, look, I'm not. Look, I don't think everybody's expecting to be Tom Brady, but the way he was hyped, I mean, yeah, he hasn't been his best, but yeah, he's been serviceable and decent enough. But that's not going to win you against so the better teams in the NFL. That's not going to work. I mean, yeah, this is the Bears' bread and butter. Running the ball and defense. Okay, fine. Dennis Allen. Look, I feel like that defense wanted to kind of stick it to his former team. That's probably what it was here in this case. But again, I mean, look, I've seen this movie before, so look, this is sort of one of those things where I've seen this movie before. Everybody gets all puffy chested and then the wheels fall off. Look what happened last year. Yeah, this is a totally different team, but again, it's sort of the same mindset. You're going to be facing a Baltimore team that's underachieved. They're 1-5. They're coming off a bye. Assuming that Lamar Jackson, a lot of those other guys that have been out the last few weeks are back. Roquan Smith, and you got to face Derrick Henry as well. I think a lot of that O-line should be back. So that's not a gimme. That Cincinnati game with Joe Flacco, assuming he's going to be still going to be the starter, that's not a gimme. They go at both of those AFC North teams. The Giants, well, we'll get to the Giants after the break, and also with the Vikings, that was just terrible. And the Vikings too. I mean, we'll never know. We'll see where the Vikings are by then. So I know people want to go around and say, well, these are four straight. No, those are none of these 4 games. None of these 4 are gimmies. None of them are. 3 of those 4 teams went to the playoffs last year. And the Giants, well, like I said, we'll see where they are by then. But again, I don't want to, let's take it one game at a time. What we can tell before we start saying that the Bears are back.
You listen to Second City Sports on Chicago City. LaKeena here with you on our NFL abbreviated edition of our Power Hour. But first, we're reviewing yesterday's 26-14 victory over the New Orleans Saints at the Lakefront. As you mentioned, LaKeena, I'm with you on Caleb Williams. He did take a slight step back yesterday. And as we said before the season started, however he plays is where this Bears team goes. And he was selected as the number 1 overall pick last year. He had a decent rookie season statistically, but has he improved? Yes. The yesterday set him back slightly. Yes, but he has to improve if the Bears are going to take the next step. Also, too, that defense, yes, they played the Saints yesterday, but they did what they had to do. As I said before, Montez Sweat showed up yesterday, and I'd like to see more consistency from him. Statistically, the run defense held Alvin Kamara in check. I know he didn't look the same. Maybe he gets traded and within the next 2 or 3 weeks at the November 4th trade deadline. I don't know, but statistically, they held him in check. But the one thing that bothered me, I don't know if you watched the beginning of the game. Obviously, I watched the whole game yesterday via the replay. The Bears, with their opening drive, their first 2 drives, and we said this last week, and they got away with it against the Commanders on the road. Stop putting up 3 points to open up games. Did what you did the first couple weeks of the season. Put up 7 points, and like you said, against better teams, you can't keep putting up field goals, trading touchdowns for field goals, because that's not going to work in the long run. And those penalties, they had 10 of them again yesterday. They got away with it against better teams like Baltimore next year, even though their record's piss poor. You cannot get away with that, and you're going to get exposed every time.
And to put a capper on this Bears recap here, but like I said, I mean, look, okay, they're 4-2, great. But like I said, they were 4-2 last year going to the bye week. So I'm still in show me mode with this squad. Like I said, that Ravens squad, I know they're 1-4, but again, they're gonna have a lot of their guys back. I think they should be refreshed. They can still win that AFC North division. So it's kind of the schedule. Their main schedule kind of sets up for them. So they're gonna have a little bit of a motivation. So will the Bengals too. That's not a gimme. That defense for the Bengals, I know that they were maligned last year. I know Trey Henderson is out, but that's still a pretty decent. That's a pretty decent offense. You still got to deal with Jamar Chase. You still got Joe Flacco, the Mr. Old Reliable, if you will. And the Vikings, like I said, we'll see where the Vikings are by then. You got to play Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. So I think it's one of those things where, okay, you're happy that they're 4-2, but again, they were there last year. So for me, I'm just like, you know what? Give me a month, and then you'll get and ask me again and get back to me.
The difference between last year and this year, I'm not saying this guy is the greatest coach of all time. No, the difference between last year and this year is Ben Johnson. If you haven't, if you don't recognize that through these first 6 games, I don't know what to tell you. Other than, like I said, I'm not saying this team is going to steamroll through the rest of the schedule and win the North. They're going to steamroll through the playoffs. I'm not saying that, but the difference between last year's team and this year's team is one man, Ben Johnson.
I've seen this movie before for 30 some odd years. Everybody says it's a coaching. Okay. We'll have to wait and see. As this is Second Seed Sports on Sports. I've got LaKeena, McGee, Sidney Brown with you as our abbreviated edition of our little NFL, 30, 45 minute power, 3/4 hour, I guess. Now let's get into some of these games here before we go to break. From week 7, we'll start in London with the London games at Wembley Stadium. We could probably keep it short with this one. 35-7 it was all Rams. 5 TDs for Mr. Matt Stafford. Kyron Williams, 54 rushing yards. Devontae Adams had 3 of those TD catches. So if you had him on your fantasy team, you had a nice way to start out your Sunday morning. There on the flip side, though, the offense just couldn't get going for the Jags. Trevor Lawrence, 296 yards in the TD, but the real key here with the defense for the Rams, 7 sacks for that was a season high for them. So they're at 5-2, and they're at least right now are the class of the NFC West.
Yeah, the Rams are rebounding nicely after those losses to Philadelphia and the San Francisco 49ers on that Thursday night a few weeks ago. They reserted their dominance, as you said. The offense didn't do much statistically, but it was their defense, as you mentioned, that shut down the beleaguered Jaguars. The Jaguars have not shown up these last 2 games. I know some fans said leave them in London the way they're playing, but this is more about the Rams inserting their dominance and being one of the top contenders in the NFC. As we said before the season started, the NFC is wide open. We'll get into more as we go through the scores from yesterday's games.
Yes, indeed. Now, starting with the new games here, our buddy Spiro Diaz and Adam Archuleta and Aditi Kamala had this game for CBS. It was all Cleveland as the Browns beat the Dolphins 31-6. Yikes! 160 yards from Dylan Gabriel, but it was the Quinson Judkins show as he had 3 rushing TDs. On the flip side, though, for the Dolphins, well, 3 interceptions for Tua. Devin Kane did have 82 rushing yards in a losing cause, but yeah, 3 interceptions from Tua and including a pick six from Tyson Campbell. I think that's his second this year, I believe. So yeah, that's yeah, yeah. Mike McDaniel, well, he's gonna be. Looks like he's gonna be getting his pink slip. Well, they won't get no link card. Well, that's a whole different, that's a different discussion. But yeah. So what you think about that game yesterday?
Yeah, Mike McDaniel doesn't get his pink slip after this. I don't know what it's going to take. But the Browns, as we talked about on with our picks with Christine on the last Friday's show, the Browns had the better defense. The Dolphins don't play well on the road, especially in elements like wind and rain. And Quinshon Judkins, as I said before, he is that dude. And you can talk about Cleveland's management throughout the years. Yeah, they made a bunch of terrible draft picks and signings, but they got this one right at running back. And Judkins was the man for Cleveland on offense. You mentioned Dylan Gabriel didn't have to have the greatest day. It was their running game and their defense that carried them through against a bad Dolphins team.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was basically all Dolphins all the time. Now, speaking of another game that was it was all Chiefs here, 31-0 as they shut out the Las Vegas Raiders. Pat Mahomes, 3 TDs. Isaiah Pacheco had one rushing TD, but it was the return of Rashee Rice. He had 2 of those TD catches from Mahomes. On the flip side for the Raiders, Geno Smith, 67 passing yards. Not really nothing much to write home about, so we can just move right along. They're 4-3. They've won 3 in a row. I'm talking about the Chiefs, so okay.
Yeah, they've been playing like the best team in the NFL. I'm not saying they are the best team in the NFL, Colin Cowherd and Nick Wright, but Rashee Rice is making a difference. With his return yesterday, he made a difference for that Chiefs offense. Isaiah Pacheco, I've been begging for them to use him in the right way. 15 carries, 57 yards to the touchdown, but here's the thing. I did watch the entire first half live via this computer screen, LaKeena. I turned it off at the halftime. Like, the Raiders didn't even show up. And you know how bad it was yesterday, LaKeena? And they played this on NFL Red Zone if you saw it. Gardner Minshew and the backups played the entire fourth quarter. Guess what the Chiefs did with 2.5 minutes left to go in the game? Guess what they did?
Yeah, I saw that. So yeah, tell everybody what happened. I actually saw the.
They started kneeling the ball.
Yes, they did. Yeah, they kneeled like.
That's enough. We ain't gonna run up the score. We're just gonna kneel the ball. We want to go home just like the rest of everybody else in the stands.
Yeah, they kneeled the ball like 3 or 4 times. So yeah, they in the game. So yeah, so it was basically So for if y'all still were stuck with this game, we apologize. So, but yeah, that was pretty bad. That's how. But yeah, I guess that was a classy move from him for them not to run up the score. So yeah, I think they wanted to go home too. And also Andy Reid was like, yeah, okay, just kneel the ball, guard, just kneel it.
I guess that's early reservations for you. Let's go down to Tennessee, where the Tennessee Titans lose a ugly game to the New England Patriots in the return of former head coach Mike Vrabel. The Patriots get it done, 31-13. Cam Warren is up 255 yards to a touchdown pass and an interception, 25 off of 25-34. Ramondre Stevenson for the Patriots, 18 carries, 88 yards in the score. His best game clearly so far this season. LaKeena, Drake May, we said this the last couple of weeks. He's improved every week. Obviously, he's that guy going forward for New England. I know many of their fans expected this performance last week at New Orleans. We said, not so fast, but you got it yesterday against the Titans. Now they sit atop, I'm talking about the Patriots, they sit atop the AFC East division at 5-2, 4-0 away from Gillette Stadium. Who would have thought this? I didn't. Yeah. I said they would be improved this year, but not this fast.
Vrabel. That's what the Titans. I don't know if that was mostly Titans fans or maybe a little mixture of Patriots fans too that made the trip down to Nashville. But yeah, as Vrabel was leaving. But yeah, I don't think none of us I think had this. We all thought that they could be a sleeper, for a playoff spot. I don't think anybody thought they'd be 5-2 after 7 weeks of the NFL season. Mm-hmm. Drake Mays played very well. 2 TDs, 2 more TD passes. Ramondre Stevenson had another rushing TD. Good thing to see Stephon Diggs. I know that he was a little banged up last week, but he had a nice showing as well. But that defense, look, we know that's Vrabel's bread and butter. And they had 5 sacks yesterday. So yeah, very nice showing there by the Patriots. Look, will they win a division? Who knows? But I think they'll definitely show you that they are the first to be reckoned with. I think coaching makes a big difference. As you said, coaching Well, in this case, the coaching makes a difference here.
Yep. And let's not forget they beat Buffalo a couple weeks ago on Sunday Night Football, and so they have the season edge over them right now. You're listening to Second City Sports on Chicago City. LaKeena here with you in our short abbreviated NFL Power Hour. If you have any thoughts about yesterday's Bears 26-14 win rather against New Orleans Saints at the Lakefront yesterday, we'll take your comments and questions on the yesterday's Bears win as well at Sports Zone Chicago's Facebook and YouTube channels. Go to the comment section. LaKeena will post up those comments and questions on the screen for you. Let's continue up in Minneapolis. The Vikings lose a close one to the Philadelphia Eagles, 28-22. Jalen Hurts, 19-23, 326 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Jordan Mason for the Vikings, 15 carries, 57 yards in a score. Devontae Smith, his best game of the year for the Philadelphia Eagles, 9 catches, 183 yards in the score. LaKeena had a chance to watch some of this game live opposite of the Bears game. And the Philadelphia Eagles, I like the way they came out aggressive right away, including 2 fourth down conversions, including converting on the 4th and 6 with a touchdown pass, the first of 2 to A.J. Brown. You can tell that Carson Wentz, who played against this former team, the Philadelphia's defense, they were prepared for him. They surprised him with a bunch of blitzes and stunts. Minnesota, give them credit. They mounted the comeback. T.J. Hawkinson's touchdown catch was negated late in the game, and rightfully so because the ball hit the ground. But Minnesota, they're starting to get exposed who they really are. In Philadelphia, as we said on Friday, don't believe the hype. Shout out Public Enemy. But don't believe the hype. Oh, this is Philadelphia like Kansas City. This is a game they're going to go down. Oh, the season's going to be lost. Yours truly told you, nope. Watch what happens on Sunday. You saw what happened yesterday.
Yeah, you could tell that. I don't think it hit the ground. Talking about the Hawkinson catch, but I mean, it definitely. I think there was another score that was negated too. I guess there was a hold on one of the old linemen, and it turns out it was kind of ticky tack at best. So you could probably say that the Vikings probably could have and maybe should have won that game. But I think the Eagles are showing you why they're the Super Bowl reigning champs. 3 TDs for Hurts. It looks like they were using Saquon Barkley a little bit more. For only 44 rushing yards, but it was really the Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown show with a combined over 300 receiving yards and 3 TDs. And also the defense was actually showing you, they kind of were able, they got 2 interceptions from Wentz, and not his best showing either in the last few weeks. So we'll see once JJ McCarthy comes back. We'll see how this team really does develop. But yeah, I think you still got a lot of guys that are out. I think Aaron Jones is still out. I think so. I think he should be back next week for the Vikings. But yeah, the Eagles are showing you that maybe there's everything's doing okay over there in the city of brotherly love.
Yeah, they still had to get Saquon Barkley rolling, but everything else was hitting on all cylinders for the Eagles yesterday. As they proved their record to 5-2, Minnesota drops to 3-3. The last of the early games, the Carolina Panthers. Yes, who had this on your scorecard at the start of the season? The Panthers are now 4-3 on the year after beating the Jets in an ugly LaKeena McGee 1980s football special, 13-6. Bryce Young for the Panthers, 15-25. 138 yards and a touchdown pass. Rico Dowdle for the Panthers, 17 carries, 79 yards. And Xavier Legette for the Panthers, 9 catches, 92 yards and a touchdown. On the flip side for the Jets, 45 yards passing for Justin Fields. He got benched at halftime. Tyrod Taylor, 128 yards passing. But Breece Hall, he's looking for a contract extension. No way. That Jets defense, it played well in spots, but it looked ugly, especially at the end of that game. Aaron Glenn, I know he has more gray hairs than President Obama. I know some people want him fired. That's not going to happen. But where does the finger pointing start with this New York Jets 0-7 start now?
Well, I'll start with the Panthers first. Of course, Bryce Young got hurt with that high ankle sprain. He could miss a couple of weeks, but they're saying that he may just miss that game against the Buffalo. I know Dalton came in for 760 yards. Dowdle had another big showing. I know Legette had a nice showing as well for them, and 6 sacks for that Panthers defense. So the nice showing for them. I know J.C. Horn got hurt, so we'll see what his status is. But
yeah,
as far
2 picks as well yesterday.
Yeah. So I know. Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good squad for the Carolina. Like I said, I'm not going to say they're going to win the NFC South or compete for a playoff spot, but they have the players are there, so we'll see how Andy Dalton is like he's going to be taken over for the next week or two. Now, as far as the Jets are concerned, I think. Look, do I think it's just? I don't think it's Aaron Glenn. I know he's been won this opportunity for like almost a decade now, but I think they need to. Something has to change up there. I don't know if it's the GM. I don't know if it's the way they develop guys or scout guys, but. This is not a good Jets squad. I mean, I mean, like, I know Sauce Gardner. I know he had a concussion. Who knows if he'll play next week? I know I know he wants a new contract extension too. Brees Hall, he's hurt. He got hurt again. But yeah, I think it starts at the top. I feel like, and not beyond Coach Glenn. I think it could be ownership. It could be perhaps maybe the GM. I don't know, but the way they develop guys or scout guys. But yeah, there's got to be something going on. Hopefully, we'll have somebody on from New York to kind of like we'll ask them. But it's definitely crazy up there in New Jersey.
Yeah, so I mentioned the Jets are 0-7 on the year. Let's sneak in a late game before we head towards the bottom of the hour break. The Indianapolis Colts are the best team in football, ? Certainly had the best record in the AFC after improving their record to 6-1 with a 38-24 win over the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles, as we call them on this show. Justin Herbert for the Chargers, 37-55, 420 yards. In 3 touchdown passes. Jonathan Taylor for the Colts, 16 carries, 94 yards, and another 3 rushing touchdown performance. And Oronde Gaston II. Yes, I remember his daddy back with the Dolphins about some 25 years ago or so. But his son for the Chargers, the former Syracuse standout, 7 catches, 164 yards in the score. The Colts came out on fire in that first half. LaKeena led that game 23-3 rather in that first half. After that second quarter performance, putting up 17 points, it was no looking back.
It looked really impressive. Like I said, 2 TD passes for Jones, another 3 more. I heard JJ Watt, because he and I Eagle did the game for CBS, because the game was on here in Chicago. I remember he said that I know they were talking about, look, could perhaps maybe, Jonathan Taylor making a case for MVP. I mean, I know it was a little early to talk about that, but he's looking like, I think he's showing you why he's a very valuable player there. But again, also the defense is really good for them. I know Cam Biden had three solo tackles. No, Kenny Moore the second. I remember his dad playing way back when. The defense had 3 sacks. They had 2 interceptions too. So yeah, that defense is really good. And look, we said this last week. Could Shane Cycle perhaps be a leader for Coach of the Year? We'll see.
Oh yeah.
On the flip side for the Chargers, I mean, I think a lot of injuries in that O-line. Especially, I think that's coming back. I think another one of their O-line guys got hurt again yesterday. But also that defense, they've given up a lot of big plays. Too many, I feel like. I know Jordan James led the team in tackles, but they need to get guys step up. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, Colts best team, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I mean. That's gonna be interesting. I know the Chargers got a short. I know they play Minnesota on Thursday on Prime, so that'll be interesting to see like which team can a much needed win for one of these teams. But yeah, the Colts maybe best team maybe.
We'll finish a recap from yesterday's NFL action. We'll recap the big games from college football, and we'll preview tonight's Game 7 in Major League Baseball's American League Championship Series edition between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Seattle Mariners. I'm Sid. That's LaKeena. Stick and stay on the Bears Victory Monday right here on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the Superback, Sean Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Got it done here. Ouch! And we're gonna make sure you live this time. Ouch! You're not gonna get me this time.
Ow, Manny!
Whoops! Let's try an easy one.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
Hey, this is Corey McGee, and I listen to Sean and Maya on the morning show.
Welcome back to the Bears Victory Monday edition of Second City Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm Sid, that's LaKeena. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter, X, and the IG at SidKid80. Once again, it's SidKid80. That's SIDKID80. That's SIDKID80.
You can follow my Kingdom McGee on the Twitter, X, and again at IG.
If you have any thoughts on the Bears' victory yesterday over the New Orleans Saints 26-14 or any other NFL action from Sunday afternoon yesterday, you can definitely hit us up at Sports Zone Chicago's Facebook page or at Sports Zone Chicago on YouTube. Type in those questions or comments in the comment section. LaKeena will get the up on the screen for you.
We'll start down in Arizona as the Green Bay Packers held off the Cardinals 27-23. Jordan Love had 179 yards and a TD. Josh Jacobs, a little banged up, but he still garnered 55 rushing yards and 2 TDs. On the flip side, Jacoby Brissett had 2 TD passes, doing 279 yards in relief of Kyler Murray, who missed his second straight game. Trey McBride had 2 of those TD catches. Romeo Doubs had a nice showing as well. The Packers defense sacked Brissett 6 times. And once again, this seems to be a theme here with Arizona these last few weeks. They had a chance of winning the game. They decided not to. Okay, well, here's the flip side. They actually went forward on 4th, and I think it was 1. If they were at midfield, they didn't get it. Now, on the flip side, Green Bay, they were in field goal range, so they could have taken the lead, but no. 4th and 3, they said, you know what? I think Jordan might have whispered into Matt LaFleur's ear. Said they went forward. Tyler Kraft got the big catch. They ever set up the game-winning touchdown, and now they go 4-1-1. The Packers and the Cardinals fall to 2-5.
The Packers offense get off the schneid in the second half, outscoring Arizona 21-10. I saw some of that game. I thought that the Cardinals would play better. They did, but when it mattered most in that fourth quarter, they didn't do it. The Packers, once again, they got saved by Josh Jacobs in the running game, especially in that fourth quarter. Micah Parsons finally showed up, had his best game as a Packer. He had 3 of those sacks, including a couple of them in crunch time. So Green Bay, even though they didn't play their best, you can make an argument that they should have lost that game. Yes, they should have, but they did what they had to do in the closing seconds to win that game. On the flip side, you mentioned for Arizona, I didn't think Jacoby Brissett would play well again like he did last week in his first start at Indianapolis. But that Green Bay defense, as I mentioned, they got caught off guard in that first half. But Jacoby Brissett, especially on that last drive when they had a chance to win the game, he missed on a couple of opportunities. I thought that Jonathan Vilma from Fox Sports did an incredible job pointing that out. Because Arizona, even though Green Bay was coming back in the fourth quarter, the Arizona's offense was still on fire, despite a lack of a consistent running game. But this is what happens with young teams like Arizona. You get down to crunch time, you panic, you don't know what to do. You lose ball games that way, and you lose confidence.
Shout out to our buddy Nick King from CBS 5, friend of the show out there in Phoenix. The Cardinals have now lost 5 straight games by a combined 13 points. And they've been outscored 44-6 in the fourth quarter in those 3 games, those last 3 games.
There you go in crunch time.
So, yeah, gosh. Should have won a couple of those games, but that's neither here nor there now. Now, the other game on Fox, which featured NFC East rivals here, you got the Commanders and the Cowboys. It was all Cowboys pretty much as they pulled away in the second half. Javonte Williams, 116 passing yards in the TD. Dak Prescott threw for 264 yards and 3 TDs, and won Tom Brady's LFG player of the game. Here, CeeDee Lamb is first game back after missing a couple weeks, 110 yards and a TD. On the flip side, for the Commanders, no Jane Daniels. I know that hamstring, I think it popped. I know they're not saying it popped, but he injured it again. He had 156 yards in the TD. There, Marcus Mariota, 63 yards passing yards, but and the defense was kind of blah, for the Commanders. Now the Cowboys. Now look, are they saying that they're going to be the best team in the NFC East? Maybe, maybe not. But at least right now, they've been playing a lot better these last few weeks.
Yeah, the defense statistically it looked well yesterday. So Matt Eberflus will get off the schneid, at least for right now. And the Cowboys defense actually looked good before Jay and Daniels got hurt, but Javonte Williams is the stirs the pot as far as the running game is concerned for the Cowboys. We know that Dak Prescott is the top 3 MVP candidate every year, but the return of CeeDee Lamb helps elevate the offense. I know I gave a stat, I believe it was last week, that they scored over 104 points in the previous 3-4 games that CeeDee Lamb has missed, but his return to that lineup opens things up for everybody else in that offense. So that's what you saw yesterday as the Cowboys put up a 44-piece.
All right, from the weirdness from the dominance that was Jerry's World to the weirdness that was Mile High, as Denver came back, scored 33 points. No, let me say again, 33 points in the fourth quarter. Yes, I'm not repeating that. I'm not being facetious about that. That is true. As they came back and beat the Giants 33-32. Bo Nix 2 TD passes. Chicken Dominance had 81 rushing yards. Nix also had 2 rushing TDs. Cortland Sutton had 87 receiving yards, I should say. On the flip side, for the Giants, Jackson Dart looked good. 3 TD passes, 283 yards. Cam Scatterboo had 60 more rushing yards as well. I know they honored Demaryius Thomas before the game, honoring him with the Ring of Honor. Of course, a late great wide receiver who passed away last year. And I know if you saw Peyton Manning, Emmanuel Sanders, you saw Peyton Manning got really emotional. If you saw his quotes after, I think it was before the game. Please, you'll get to it because you could tell. You don't see Manning all choked up, but he was very emotional, and the reason why he ended up signed with Denver years ago. Now back to the game. Now shout out to our buddy Ryan Field from ABC 7 New York. This is another friend of the show. With this stat, I gotta make sure I got this right. NFL teams were 1,062 they won 1,602 consecutive games were leading by 18 plus points with 6 minutes or less left to play in the fourth quarter. Until the Giants losing to the Broncos. So if you turn away from that game, I know Nick's even teased afterwards that he feels bad for the folks that left after that. But yeah, that was just one crazy. I saw this game in the red zone. I had it on my phone because I was like, getting ready to eat dinner, and I was just like, what the hell's going on here? And I guess there was no score, and it's just like, good Lord, everything kind of got all, everything kind of it was actually pandemonium out there. in
Be honest. LaKeena, let's ask Christine this question. Let's get Chris, her husband, on Friday to ask him this question. But I'll ask you: if the Bears were trailing 26-8, and what happened yesterday in that Denver Giants game, would you have left Soldier Field?
Probably.
Okay.
I'm being honest. Yeah, I would. I would have had the game on the radio, but I'm sure some of those folks were still listening to the game on the radio, I'm sure, or Sirius XM or whatever. I'm sure those folks were probably feeling or kind of kicking themselves. I'm sure that missed that.
I was there, but I left early. Damn it. You don't get to claim the whole thing because you weren't there for the whole game. That's just me, but neither here or there. But I think what turned it around, LaKeena, a couple things. When the Denver Broncos, as I watched the rest of that game too, when the Broncos cut the deficit to 10 points in the middle of that fourth quarter, the Giants' next possession, and Jackson Dart was actually playing great.
Yeah.
I blame the offensive coordinator and I blame head coach Brian Dable.
Mm-hmm.
When Jackson Dart do that interception, why are you telling him to throw the
Why
ball?
are you throwing the ball
in the middle of the field when you trying to run out the clock? Why?
Come on. It's like it was like five some or four some left sit, and they're like, what? Why?
Mhm.
What are you doing? Like, why are you? You got the clock on your side. Run the ball. Give the ball to Scattaboo or Ty Tracy Jr. Like let them melt the clock. The clock is on your side. Let Sean Payton use up his timeouts. I mean, you give Denver all the credit in the world for coming back, but the Giants, like, they just show you why they've been. Look, that might be Brian Dib on the phone right now, but that might be my phone right now. But yeah, so that was just an awful display by the Giants, not being able to hold that lead. That was
in your kicker.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, you go ahead.
Quickly, and your kicker missed 2 extra points.
Exactly. And Dart was pleading with his defense, like, come on, slow them down, please. If you saw, you gotta love NFL films, you gotta love that, all the sound effects and stuff. He was begging, his defense to kind of like, try to stop him, but it was just, I guess. I think I heard like Sun say afterwards, like he felt like something like up above, so it might have been like if you believe in that stuff, like the spirit of Demaryius Thomas and all that, if you believe in that, But yeah, that was just probably one of the crazier games from yesterday.
and if you don't have the NFL Plus package, you'll be seeing this on replay on NFL Network all week. So if you didn't see the game, if you have NFL Network or NFL Plus, you can watch it sooner. As the Broncos are now 5-2 on the year, the Giants are 2-5. Last game to review Sunday Night Football. Did not watch a minute of this, and if you didn't, I don't blame you. The 49ers without Fred Warner or Nick Bosa, both of them done for the year. But Christian McCaffrey had a nice game, 24 carries, 129 yards for 2 touchdowns, as the 49ers beat the Atlanta Falcons and former NFC West Division rivals, 2010. Michael Penix Jr. for the Falcons, 21-38, 241 yards in a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, again, 7 catches for 72 yards.
Happy National Running Back Day to all the other running backs who celebrate. I know McCaffrey and Bijan Robinson, who only have 40 rushing yards. I know they exchanged jersey after the game, but yeah, it was just churning along and such. Yeah, 5-2 the 49ers are, even with all their injuries, with losing Bosa, losing Warner, like, a shout out to Tatum Bethune, who really isn't a defensive. He's a linebacker, but they use him more as a special teamer. Mm-hmm. He came in, had 12 tackles to solo tackles to it had like I think like six tackles and something like that to 8. I think that's a career high for him, and he was able to kind of step in and in relief of Warner. We saw talk to Melissa Stark after the game with Trent Williams and then of course McCaffrey as well. He had 10 tackles, really 4 solo tackles. So shout out to him and stepping in relief for Fred Warner. But that was a really good performance. Now look, Kyle Shanahan. I know we said Shane Steichen perhaps maybe, but Kyle Shanahan with all the injuries and such. Mac Jones. Again, not his best show, but he really didn't need to do anything good. But the fact that they've been able to 5-2 with all the injuries they've had, I mean, the 49ers are looking nice. I don't know if it's going to be this way long term, but at least so far, the 49ers look really good. Yeah,
you had to give Kyle Shanahan credit, and you had to give Robert Saleh, the one-time ex-defensive coordinator with the 49ers. Of course, now he's back with them after being fired by the Jets last year. So give him credit as well. Wrapping up the NFL talk right here on Second City Sports and Sports Zone Chicago. 2 Monday Night Football games tonight. They got to start with these Monday Night doubleheaders. Not everyone likes, including yours, Shirley. Both games can be seen on ESPN, but the first one will be simulcast on ABC. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Detroit Lions. Tampa Bay 5-1. Detroit 4-2. Detroit's favored by 6.5. I think I know I picked Detroit to win, but I think Tampa will have something to prove tonight. Remember, this is a rematch from the playoff matchup in this divisional round from a couple years ago. It looks like Ibuka, the rookie wide receiver from Ohio State, will play. Looks like Mike Evans, no, not the actor from Good Times. Looks like he's going to play tonight. I expect to be a shootout at Ford Field. I think Tampa Bay will cover, but I still have the Lions win this game.
Yeah, it could be one of those, you take the over on this one, so it might be one of those types, like 35, 32, one of those types of games.
The over on the total is 52.5.
Yeah, I would say take the over because I think that thing's going to be one of those high-scoring affairs. But at least with these Monday night games, at least it's not overlapping. At least it's like a double header. So, but Yeah, Houston and Seattle, real quick. I think Seattle's been playing very well too. So Houston, I'm still a little iffy on them. So yeah, I think we all had Seattle winning this. So yeah, she keep it short and sweet. I think Seattle. I'm not gonna say they're gonna dominate, but I think the weather could be a concern. It's gonna be a little bit cooler out there in the Pacific Northwest. So yeah, I think Seattle should win this one pretty handily.
Okay, Seattle's favorite by 3.5 points. You can watch both those games on ESPN starting at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. The first game, as I mentioned, with the Bucks and the Lions, that will be on ABC as well. The Texas Seattle game will be on exclusively on ESPN. You're listening to Second City Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. City LaKeena here with you. Coming up at the top of the hour will be our 2025-2026 Chicago Bulls / NBA preview power hour. But in the meantime, in between time, we won't go through all the games by the line night in my Colorado Buffaloes had the week off, but a couple of games from Friday, just real quick. The Louisville Cardinals, they upset the Miami Hurricanes in South Florida, 24-21. And PJ Fleck, LaKeena, 5-2 overall, 3-1 in the Big Ten. They upset number 25 Nebraska, 24-6.
Yeah, rode that boat. I think this is the first time that Minnesota has beaten the top. Well, this is like the third straight year they've beaten the top 25 team. I'm talking about Minnesota. So, yeah, rode that boat over there, one of those lakes out there for them. I mean, look, just to keep it simple. I know Alabama, they beat Tennessee. Georgia got a big win against Ole Miss. Northwestern, no letdown. They beat Purdue. Notre Dame, their defense. Oh, that USC offense. Oh God, that was just a terrible display. BYU held off. Utah. Mizzou. I know. I know our buddy Josh Friedman and Mike Brown are happy. I think they're excelling because they got a big game this weekend. There. Oh. And shout out to Alex Mortensen. Now, he's the son of the late, great Chris Mortensen. They got a big win, upsetting Memphis, knocking them off the ranks of the undefeated. And you saw how emotional Alex got after the game. He was the OC. Of course, they fired Trent Dilfer. He was the coach here. They fired him. Mortensen is the interim. And they got a big win against at Memphis, giving them their first loss of the season.
Couple of games I want to talk about, review with you real quick. I want to talk about in the SEC. I'll start with the one that I thought was very entertaining. Unfortunately, I fell asleep missing the ending, but I caught the ending on the highlight. Ole Miss in Georgia. Georgia, of course, beat Ole Miss by 8, 43-35. Ole Miss in Lane Kiffin's group, they played well. It was a back and forth affair in the first half. I really enjoyed that, but their defense just couldn't come up with that big stop. Georgia did at the end there, especially in that fourth quarter. I know Kirby Smart's teams, they're not as strong as dominant as they have been over the last few years, but they find a way to get it done, outscoring Ole Miss 17-0 in that fourth quarter. But their quarterback, Gunnar Stockton, he played well, 4 touchdown passes overall, close to 300 yards passing. And on the flip side for Ole Miss, I was really impressed by Dejon Stribling. He had 3 catches for 96 yards in an early score. But Ole Miss, maybe this is their opportunity, but them missing the college football playoff. But up until that fourth quarter, I was really impressed by them. So they really had a chance to really pull off the upset, but the offense disappeared in that fourth quarter, putting up a goose egg.
Yeah, that was a bad. They had a couple of drops and stuff, so that was just not a good showing by the offense of Ole Miss. But look, give Georgia their defense credit. We knew that that was going to be the key, and that's why they were able to pull it out. And I think I know which game you're talking about. The other one, the Vanderbilt LSU.
You talk about that one. It was another game I wanted to discuss in the SEC, but you go with your LSU comment first.
Well, I mean, the Vanderbilt. Look, Clark Lay has done a great job with that Vanderbilt program. Now that they've actually given them money, thanks to NIL, they've actually been able to get players to come in and perhaps play with some of their guys. Diego Pavia had another. I know he did the money Johnny Manziel money sign after that game after they beat LSU. I don't know if he'll win the Heisman, but look, he's making the case for himself right there. But yeah, nice win for Vanderbilt. We'll see if they can keep it going.
Now, this guy I want to discuss with you real quick. You asked me about this on Friday. Could Texas A&M be on upset alert? I said maybe, but they had a back and forth high scoring affair with Arkansas. They defeated the Razorbacks 45-42 on the road. Their star quarterback talking about for Texas A&M, Mr. Marcel Reed, had 280 yards passing off a 23-32 passing for 3 touchdown passes. LaKeena, even though Arkansas outscored Texas A&M 15-7 in the fourth quarter, Texas barely held on for a 3-point win.
Well, that's what you do, I guess, right? I mean, at this time of year, it's not the old BCS where it's about style points, as long as you get the win. It'll be interesting to see what happens with A&M down the line. It doesn't get any easier for them. They play LSU, and they're not going to be in a very good mood. I'm talking about Brian Kelly and his guys. And they play Missouri, South Carolina. They would love to have a signature win, and they of course finish up against Texas that Saturday, that Thanksgiving, Friday after Thanksgiving. So we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting to see what happens down there. Now, real quick, some of those scores. Arizona State, they actually stormed the field after beating Texas Tech. Really? I know they got to live up to a rep of being a party school, but come on, guys. You guys were in the top 15 just a week ago. Come on. Jeez.
Florida fired their head coach, even though they beat Mississippi State 23-21.
I said it on X yesterday when the news came out right before the NFL game started. Not surprised. I mean, he just didn't win enough, unfortunately. And we know Florida is one of those schools where you have to win right away. Now, I know James Frank. I know he's put his, he's basically saying, "Hey, look, I'm not going to sit on my laurels. I want to, get a chance to, coach again." Florida, you'll have a better situation. You'll have more NIL money. I know they put a lot of money into all their Aladdin programs. Look what Florida men's basketball. They're the defending champs over there. So the money will be there. Like I said, just got to find the right coach to kind of help recruit and to develop the right talent.
Yeah, Bill Belichick, or Bill Belichick's crew, as we call him on this show. North Carolina played better, but they lose by 3 on the road to Cal. Michigan dominated Washington 24-7. You mentioned about Northwestern giving a shout out for that win. BYU outlasted Utah by 3, 24-21. There's one other game I want to discuss with you. Oh, here's one more thing I want to ask before we get to baseball. Georgia Tech. I saw a little bit of this on Saturday. They dominated Duke 27-18. Mr. Down with the King, Haynes King for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, 14 carries for 120 yards and a touchdown. Is it time for America to start taking the Yellow Jackets seriously? They're now 7-0, 4-0 in the ACC. They're ahead of the University of Miami right now. Their loss by Miami on Friday was costly as of right now, because if the ACC championship game was held today, the U will be out of the title game.
Yeah, remember they've had a couple of weeks off, so that's why they haven't played a full ACC schedule just yet. They could catch up, but also Virginia. I know they're undefeated in the SEC, in the ACC, and also SMU as well. I know they got a big win. I think it's Clemson, I believe. So there's still a lot to do here. Like I said, they play Syracuse, our buddy Dave Kerner's Syracuse squad. They play NC State, Boston College, and Pitt, and they finish up against Georgia with their annual rivalry game on Black Friday. And look, we'll see. I mean, look, will they get some respect? I don't know. It's all going to depend on these next few weeks. If they don't get caught slipping, we'll see what happens.
All right, you listen to Second City Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Sid LaKeena here with you. Now, let's wrap up this first hour by discussing the baseball playoffs. The Los Angeles Dodgers are back in the World Series for the second consecutive season. Shohei Ohtani, best individual performance perhaps ever in a clinching game, in a playoff game. 10 strikeouts, 3 home runs to eliminate the Milwaukee Brewers as the Dodgers shut out Milwaukee 5-0 last Friday in Game 4 to sweep that series. Last night in the ALCS, Toronto holds off Seattle celebrations in quotes 8-2. Which sets up tonight's winner-take-all Game 7 north of the border in Canada. Who you got and why?
Well, let's talk about that whole performance. 3 home runs by Ohtani. He started, I think, like 11 Brewers as they were able to complete the sweep. Talking about the Dodgers, just insane. I think, good Lord, I think the last time I believe a player did that. You gotta go back a long time. And just crazy insane. I don't think anybody else in history, either the playoffs or the regular season, have had that kind of stats in one game. Just to say, of course, he won LCS MVP honors in the National League. Now, as far as this game tonight, Well, I mean, look, we said this could go 7, and that's what's happening. And I think if you're either one of these teams, you got to set the tone early. It'll be George Kirby against Shane Bieber up in Toronto, and it's going to be very interesting. Like, who's going to look? I think the pitching's got to set the tone, but also the hitting. I know that Vlad Jr. had another RBI last night, and then with Seattle, they got to get Cal Raleigh going, and I think that's really going to be the key here, I feel like. And it's really good. This is going to be one of those days where it's really just going to depend on who wants him more.
And also, too, Seattle has to get their pitching in order, in particular their bullpen. Their bullpen has been terrible these last 3 or 4 games. And as we talked about last week on the show before the series switched to Seattle's T-Mobile Park. I know it's a new name. I'm not supposed to say that. But we said that historically Seattle's ballpark is a pitcher-friendly ballpark. Toronto said, hell no. Bump that theory. They hit 6 home runs, 8 home runs in those 3 games in Seattle. Of course, they hit another one last night when they got back home, courtesy of Vlad Jr. But Toronto's bats have woken up. Their bullpen has been solid ever since the end of that Yankees series. And they got caught off guard the first 2 games of this series against Seattle this time last week. But Toronto's offense woke up while Seattle's offense has its own life support, to be honest with you right now. And if I had to make the pick, and that's what I'm going to do right now, I'm going with Toronto. Does home field advantage guarantee you anything in baseball? No, it doesn't. But with the momentum that the Toronto Blue Jays have created ever since they left Seattle, taking 2 out of 3 there, they have come home, and you saw what they did last night. I think it carries over them tonight, and I think they'll take it. I think it's going to be a little bit closer game than what people expect, but I expect Toronto to shut it down tonight.
Well, remember the last time they played at Game 7, all the way back in 1985, they actually had home field and lost to Kansas City, remember? So, yeah, so, maybe it'll be a different story, 40 years later. But, it pains me because I know I love the Mariners. I love that Mariners squad, but you got to go with the hot team at this point, especially when it comes to going into Game 7. I think that's really going to be the key here. And instantly, though, Vlad Jr. and Ernie Clement, they actually joined a pretty good list of only 3 MLB clubs that have had 2 players with 17 plus hits through the team's first 10 postseason games in 1 year. You got to go back to like 93 with the Blue Jays with Devon White and Paul Molitor. Did it, and then of course that team would win the World Series. Also, in 1979, the Pirates really started with Phil Gardner also had 17. Of course, Vlad has 18. Clement has 7. So could they join that list? Because those other two that I mentioned, both those teams end up win the World Series. So we'll see if that's the case. But first, I got to take care of business against Seattle. So it should be a fun one up there tonight and up north.
Yeah, you saw me bow my head. You mentioned that 93 Blue Jays team. Of course, they beat my White Sox in the ALCS.
They did,
in 6. Well, that was a damn good team. I'll never forget Dave Stewart. I believe he was ALCS MVP of that series, 2-0 in that series, while Jack McDowell went 0-2 it. He was the Cy Young Award winner for that year.
Yeah.
Don't get me started out. I'm turning to anger as I speak, but I'm going to leave that alone. You can watch tonight's game on FS1 and simulcast on the Big Fox Network starting at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Stay tuned for more sports and more fun as Second City Sports continues with our Basketball Power Hour as we preview the 2025-2026 Chicago Bulls and the rest of the NBA season as well. We're entering a new era in NBA television, and as well as Chicago Bulls and a whole lot more. Who's the MVP? Who's going to be your breakout player? This is LeBron James last year. What's going on with Steph Curry? That and a whole lot more. You stick and stay right here on Second City Sports. It's Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the Superback, Sean Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot. and to read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
It's a romance sport. What? It's a romance sport like that.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Every body in a work zone is someone's somebody.
This is my mom. She works for KDOT.
This is my dad.
This is my mom.
This is my daddy.
This is my sister.
This is my daddy.
This is my son, Scott. He was killed while working in a highway work zone. When you drive through a work zone, drive like a life depends on it. Because it does.
Welcome back to Second City Sports. You're locked and loaded, and we're live in the living color right here on Sports Soul Chicago. I'm Sid. That's LaKeena. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter, X, and the IG at SidKid80. Once again, it's SidKid80. That's SIDKID80. That's SIDKID80.
You can follow McGee on the Twitter, X, and again on IG.
This is our Chicago Bulls / NBA 2025-2026 preview hour. So if you want to talk other sports, you have to wait till our next show on Friday. But if you want to get into that basketball like we're going to for the next 58 minutes or so, you can definitely hit us up at Sports Zone Chicago's Facebook page or Sports Zone Chicago on YouTube. Type in those questions and comments in the comment section. LaKeena will get the up on the screen for you.
We got a lot to talk about, so let's get right to it here with one of our panels, our good friend of the show. He is one of the fearsome trio or foursome over at CHGO Bulls, and also the Bow on Sports. He's the one, the only, the super cool Mr. Big Dave Watson.
Hey! Peace. What's up with y'all? I'm letting y'all know right now, I'm having microphone issues. It keeps cutting out on me, but I'm here. I'm here for y'all, and we're going to talk basketball as long as I can.
No, it's fine. I know, we've had people that they have other commitments. So, hopefully, our other rest of our panel will show up in a little bit. I know a couple of them. I got to mess with a couple of them are running late, but we got you on, Dave. So let's get right to it here and talk some Bulls. It looks like at least Kobe White. It looks like he will be cleared to resume basketball activities, and it looks like he will miss the start of the season, obviously, but he is making progress. He'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks. So what exactly are the expectations for the Bulls this year?
Oh man. This is one of those seasons I really don't know. The Bulls could be a team that finished with their regular record of 39 wins. I think they'll still kind of be that team that finishes around there. But where they finish at in the standings is what's confusing to me because of, the East and the injuries that have occurred and the things that are going down. The Bulls could easily be a 7 seed or a 6 seed, but they could also miss everything and be an 11 seed. So I'm interested to watch and find out. I'm not happy about this Kobe White news at all. 2 weeks is just wow. I was kind of shocked by hearing that when that happened. I talked about it on the show Friday, how I was concerned that this was still a thing, because the last thing we had heard was he would be playing in the preseason, the final game of the preseason. And then it went from, well, all he needs to do now is, is contact. And I was like, well, I'm concerned, because at this point in time in the season, this is not gamesmanship time when it's opening season time. Like, that's for not knowing when somebody's going to play or trying to hold that out is what you do in the playoffs. It's what you do in Game 7. It's what you do during the season. Think Tyrese Halliburton is the best example. Like, you don't tell anybody he's going to be playing in Game 7 until it's time. But opening night, you're supposed to know who's on the floor. Everybody, there's no gamesmanship for opening night. So the fact that it wasn't announced that, yes, he is 100% playing was absolutely concerning for me. And my worst fears have been realized, because I'm like, he's still not ready to go. So the Bulls have a tough stretch. These first, I believe he's going to miss 6 games. That's a tough 6 game. I mean, they start off with Detroit, at home. And that is not an easy game. They got to play Orlando during that time. That's not an easy game. Like, they have tough games within this stretch. So they can start off real slow. They can catch up quick in the second half for sure. They can be that kind of squad. But I'm just concerned. I am definitely concerned about that. And Zach Collins being hurt, that sets you back as well. I'm big on Modest, as y'all know. I'm very, very huge on him. I'm expecting to see his ascension start this season. I expect Josh Giddey to have a good season, because the team is built around him. He's the engine. So he will have the ball in his hands, and the best version of Josh Giddey is Josh Giddey with the ball in his hands with the high usage percentage. So I think Billy will know how to counter that, though, on certain situations by getting Trey Jones the ball in there, letting him run the half court, slowing things down, because Giddey has, if you watch the preseason, he played a lot of off ball. And it worked really well, because teams know when Josh Giddey's got the ball, we clamping them. You saw what Cleveland did. As soon as Josh Giddey was dribbling, it was clamp city. So the Bulls are going to struggle defensively also. I think that is absolutely going to be an issue. Not having Zach Collins really makes that even bigger of an issue. So, yeah, defensively, they should struggle. Offensively, they should be really fun. The Bulls should be really fun to watch offensively. I expect to see high-flying stuff from Modest Uzelis. I expect to see a bunch of alley-oops between Josh Giddey and Modest and whoever else. I just expect them to run, and I expect them to be fun. But I still expect them to finish with that record of like between 38 and 40 wins, which, and I believe Matt Peck told me this, it's never happened in the history of the NBA that a team has gone 4 straight seasons and finished with between 38 and 40 wins. It's never happened in the history of the NBA. And the Chicago Bulls could absolutely be that first team to do that. And the reason it's never happened is because that is the sure sign of mediocrity, and no team wanted to stay there. So, yeah, that kind of blew my mind. And I'm like, they can also be the first team to play the same team in the play-in all 4 years. They could also be the first team to lose to that team all 4 years. So there's some sad history on the line for this team with this as well. But it should be fun. I don't want to discourage that. I really think that they're going to be fun to watch, and they're going to be up and down the floor. And when Kobe White gets back in the fray, hopefully soon enough he gets back, there will be even more fun to watch offensively on a lot of nights.
Only the Bulls. # only the Bulls. Speaking of another player that dealt with an injury early in training camp was Patrick Williams. I know you've been hard on him, and yours surely has been throughout his tenure here. I believe he's starting his 6th season here in Chicago. It's been a long time, but I know Patrick said that he lost weight during the off season. What do you expect from him? Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Like you said, we expect the Bulls to be very good on offense. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. You tell me. You can tell me that I'm crazy. It's okay. It's not the first I've been told I'm crazy before. I expect him to still average close to a double-double and improve his outside shooting. What say you about Mr. Williams?
First of all, sir, like if you're not being told you're crazy, you're doing it wrong. I get told I'm crazy all the time. You're doing it wrong. I'm not being told you're crazy. So it's a badge of honor. Call me crazy, call me weird, all that stuff. Yes, give me all that. Patrick Williams, man, y'all know I had the No Excuses tour for Patrick Williams last year. And during the year, the tour got canceled because nobody was showing up to watch that Patrick Williams perform. And he was just, I mean, I don't have any more words with how bad that season was for him. It was completely upsetting. I came into this year and I took it upon myself to rebrand him. So I'm like, I'm not calling him Patrick Williams no more. He got to be a different person in general. I'm going by his middle name now. He's Lee Patrick to me right now. So we going with Lee Patrick. I don't want to see Patrick Williams. I want Lee Patrick. All right. And watching him in the preseason, I thought Lee did a great job in the preseason. That was Lee Patrick in the preseason. All right. Now you saw some sign. I mean, it's for me, that's what it is now. It's Bruce Wayne and Batman. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, with it. And I want all of Lee Patrick all day long because that dude was aggressive. That dude was in the paint. That dude was not out of position. He didn't look bored. He didn't look upset. He just looked like he was there to help the basketball team in the preseason. I'm talking about. He looked like what you want your basketball player to be. I'm not saying he was world beating out there or like he should be starting or anything like that, but the bar is really low for him. So we had to make sure he had a pulse first. So watching him in the preseason, I was like, oh man, dude had an 8 rebound game. Like I was over the moon. Like this dude got 8 rebounds. He's boxing out. You know what I mean? Like he's doing all this normal basketball stuff. So it's good to see him like that. But you better believe that I'm going to be calling him Lee Patrick for sure when he's performing well out there on the floor. I don't want no more Patrick Williams. I want Lee Patrick all day on the floor. Hopefully he plays better. He'll get an opportunity. He'll get an opportunity. I promise you. He'll get an opportunity because they're very thin at the 3. Like nobody has just really taken that position. So he'll have an opportunity to get some time, and they need him, in a lot of ways for his skill set and what he can provide. But yeah, I am all about the Lee Patrick train. That's what I'm on.
Maybe they get Alexia Julius at our Secretary of State to work on a name change for that. So we got to get the other two. The rest of our panel is here. These two guys, you guys have seen them on the show before. They're both friends of the show. They're 2 of the members of the Fundamentals. One is the also on WVON. He's also the PD over at WVON. He's the one and only Tice T-Dub Williams. What up,
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Hey.
Thank you so much for the great introduction. I appreciate that.
Well, no, absolutely. And your partner on the Fundamentals, he's the Mr. DJ Turbine. He's the one and only the fabulous Mr. Arturo Garza. What up, DJ?
Turbine!
Hey!
Thanks for having me back.
No, absolutely. So, to kind of piggyback off what Dave said, Tyus, we'll start with you. What are your expectations for the Bulls, and what do you expect from Patrick Williams, Lee Patrick?
I know, right? I love the Lee Patrick thing. That was great. My expectations are not really that high this season. I would like for them to be high, but these last couple seasons, it's been kind of a little bit down for me. So with a brand new team, basically from scratch, some of the players from last year, a couple of new players this season, I think that there's no problem for this team to be able to step up and actually play hard committed basketball for Billy Donovan. I think that they're finally starting to buy into the system with this young team, with Coach Billy Donovan, and he's actually got them playing good ball. So I'm expecting probably realistically a good somewhere close to 40, 41 wins. I think they can possibly do it because, again, the East did get a little bit weaker this year too as well. So that kind of plays a part into it. And I think they're going to catch a couple people by surprise. Now, I do agree with Big Dave. Nobody's really took the 3 position actually as their own yet. So hopefully Lee Patrick does do it, because I'm tired of, saying maybe this is the year, maybe this is the year all the time. So I'm hoping that he actually steps up. But I'm just happy that we're actually going to see, hopefully, a decent looking team this year and possibly a playoff team.
Turb?
By the way, the middle name is wild, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what? Okay. I like that. But so for the season, I'm with Titus when it comes to the wins. I'm floating around between 40 to 45 wins this season. I don't see this team being close to 50. Hopefully not as bad for 30. But early on, we just got news today, an update with Kobe White not being available for the first 2 weeks. It's going to be 6 games that he's going to be out. And the beginning of our schedule is like the 9th toughest. So this whole start, it can be really shaky. We also got Zach Collins, who went out. He's had surgery on his wrist. He's going to be back, or no, he's going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks. So we're already starting. It feels like a regular bowl season when we start and injuries already, here. So we're already, on pace, feels like that. But I'm interested to see how this team really formulates, because I've heard a lot in the preseason. I've seen some too. Like, I wish I could unsee Vuce's play in the preseason, but it's there. And the intensity that Billy Donovan has been implementing, I'm all for it. I don't know if it's because maybe we have the lack of star power that we had once before, between Zach and DeMar of the world, we had. And now it's, it seems like he has control of this team a little bit more. Because we saw a couple videos where I took Okoro, this is hard in this camp. They're like, yeah, coach wants to dial it up. So I think the intensity is something I am very interested in seeing of this team. Play-in team again, I feel like this is the same way we'll always be. I was hopeful 6 seed, but again, it's going to see how we really mature through the season and see how this really gels. I'm hopeful, but there are things that I want to see more of this team. For example, because of that Zach Collins injury, that to me throws a monkey wrench in the plans of Vooch's departure, which is inevitable. It's going to happen. But now the fact that Zach Collins is not available for at least a month minimum, we'll see. You can't really look into moving that. And Zach, I know he ain't no one's world-beating center, but I believe with the pace that this team was playing, he was like prototypical center that you wanted trying to run with this team. Vooch, he's 35 years old. He's a little, in the back end of his career. This team, I felt like, was leaving him behind, which I feel was the writing on the wall of his departure. But now we'll see how that really goes.
For me, LaKeena, I think this is. Go ahead.
You go first. No, go ahead.
No, I was getting ready to say just to put a capper on it. I think I'm with you, Dave. I think this is important for this Bulls team to get off to a good start, because of their first 2 opponents to open up against Detroit on Wednesday. They had to go to Orlando on Saturday, and we'll get into more in them in a few minutes. But it's important for this Bulls team to get off to a good start, because you want to develop that chemistry, that continuity here early. Even though you're going to be without Kobe White and Zach Collins, it's still important just to, from a confidence standpoint and from a team gelling standpoint, to get out to a decent start. We all thought they were going to fall flat on their face last year at the start of the season. They actually they got out to a decent start, and then they struggled there, and then they picked it up right after the All-Star break. But I want to I'll start with you, Dave, with some of the new players on the team, at least a little that I watched of the preseason this year. Even though I'm a Comcast Xfinity subscriber, I got CHSN full time now. But the 2 players I want to ask you about is Isaac Okoro and Trey Jones. I really have been impressed about how Trey Jones has played this preseason. I'm going to ask you, Dave, about those 2 players. What do you expect from those 2 newcomers this season?
Well, Trey Jones, I'm always excited about. He's a perfect Billy Donovan guy. Billy Donovan is a point guard dude, and Trey Jones is our traditional point.
I know. Turb, I think you may have to jump in here, because I know Dave's been having issues. All right, you're back with us, Dave?
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Oh, there we go.
All right, there we go. What you got?
Jones, the traditional point guard than Josh Giddey is, and he's gonna get a lot of playing time because of that. So now with Kobe out, you're definitely going to see Trey Jones getting all the tick. Like he will definitely be playing a lot for this team. Isaac Okoro, the jury is still out. we know what we want. He's very similar to Patrick Williams. You know what you want him to be, but you just haven't seen it consistently throughout his career. He's gotten better, and he's a defender for sure, but he was brought in to be like the defensive identity of this Bulls team. So that's a lot on his shoulders right now. And not being able to shoot has been just, he's been tough, from the three-point line, man. And it hasn't been fun to watch. So it's like they're trying to build the perfect three and have all these pieces and are still missing a bunch of pieces to put it right together perfectly. But Okoro's going to get a shot because, again, the three is not – nobody has really solidified it yet. So he's going to get a shot. It'll be situational, I think, in several games if he starts or if he doesn't. I think Kevin Huerter will be the starter opening night just because that's what worked with Josh Giddey the best. Their two-man game, the numbers really back that up from that second half of the season. Their two-man game was really good, really solid. And it's not like Red Velvet was great in the preseason either. He was 1 for 7 that first game, and I believe like 2 for 8 in the next. Like, he wasn't great, shooting the ball. So, yeah, but Isaac Okoro, and he should be okay. I want him to be better than that. They need him to be better than that. But he'll be okay. I expect defensively in the fourth quarter, when it's time to, put your best defensive player on the best offensive player, I think you'll see him in that role for that for sure. But he allows the Bulls to actually play with different lineups. Now the Bulls can play with a defensive lineup, because you can throw him, Ayo, Modest, out there, and Trey Jones, who's really good at steals. You can call that a defensive lineup. They couldn't do that at all in the previous season. So it gives them options, not great ones, but it gives them, options. And that's a good thing to have, is optionality, on your basketball team. So he's cool. I can't emphasize that enough. Like, I'm not over the moon about him. He's cool. He's good. He's a solid player. I'm not expecting everything from him, but I am expecting him to struggle, especially offensively. But defensively, he should make things better. But all in all, Trey Jones, you guys should definitely be – we should all, I should say, definitely be excited about Trey Jones and what he's going to do for this basketball team, especially at that point guard position.
Herb?
Trey was doing great last year when we acquired him at the deadline. He personally, I think if he was available at the end with the play-in, because he was hurt, he was out, we possibly were making that playoff. Here or there now, but like he definitely earned that 3-year contract in this offseason, and I like the way he plays. He, to me, has been one of the signs in the preseason so far to give me hope of this bench. I haven't had that much, the bench unit, if everything's healthy, it seems pretty deep and pretty serviceable, and everyone has a role there. And Trey is basically the floor general when he is out there, and I really like the command at point. He has great passing, some shooting, he has some playmaking ability there, so I'm very excited to see where that goes with him. I hope we use him in the right scenario. Isaac Okoro coming here, he's a guy who just needed a change of scenery, and it's desperate, and it's great, and sometimes it's good for a guy, and sometimes it's bad. I'm hoping it's the better, for Isaac, but he is defensive-minded first. He's a two-way. He can guard twos, ones. He can guard the 1 to 3, kind of forward. Not an NBA. He's a little short, but he's really aggressive. He's really tenacious. He's right there. And I do expect him to be some mix of the starting lineup because Billy did say that depending on our matchup this year, when it comes to our opponents, we're not going to go with a solid rotation. He basically wanted to say it's going to be fluid. So the usage of any of these players, let alone Okoro and Trey, they're going to be involved, but their actual rate of usage, we'll see how that actually goes depending on the
matchup. T-Dub?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with both of the gentlemen on the panel. I think that I expect a lot from Trey Jones because I think that if he didn't get hurt last year, they could have made a push for the playoffs because you see in key pivotal moments in the play-in, you see in the play-in game that he would have been a major factor in some of those late scenario options where he could play defensively and possibly get some steals. So I think that this Trey Jones addition last year was huge for him to be coming back, especially once you got rid of Lonzo Ball. I think that was the icing on the cake for sure for him to be on this team. And like Big Dave said, that he's a traditional type of point guard, something that Billy Donovan loves to have. So I think he should thrive in this system as well. As far as Isaac Okoro, I kind of got the same feeling like you guys said earlier with Patrick Williams. It's one of those, well, let's wait and see if things, I think a change of scenery will help. but I don't know how, to an extent how much, because you still got to have that hunger and that drive to want to compete and want to be better. And right now, I'm not really seeing that aspect. I mean, he looked solid in preseason basketball, but it still wasn't enough to be like, okay, this was the right trade when we traded Lonzo for him. I'm not seeing that yet. But, it's still early time until, but hopefully one of these guys can step up and try to get that 3 position. And I would like, honestly, for it to go to Pat Lee Pat. That's because of the fact that he's been here the longest. So I don't want it to be more of a project anymore. It's got to be something you stepped up. You were a top 5 lottery pick. Now it's time to step up. There's no more excuses. There's no more Zach. There's no more
Lonzo.
Thank you. There's no more Lonzo. There's no more Zach. There's no more DeRozan. So there's really no excuse for you not to elevate to be the number 1 guy. So I think that this now is the time for him to step up, and that only will actually benefit the team more. I think that if he worries a little more about offense than defense, because he's naturally a great defensive player, sometimes he does get beat in scenarios when it's one-on-one. But most of the time, that's really against superstar players. But if you look at the way he played against LeBron last year, if you look at the times that he did guard Donovan Mitchell, and then you look at his play against Paolo Banchero last year, he stepped up a few times and had really good defensive plays. So I think it's really more so mentally him actually adjusting to the offensive side of the ball than the defense, and knowing that he can be the number 1 guy now. So no excuses. I think those 2 guys, I definitely think that Okoro has still kind of something to prove to me. But just for somebody who's already been on the team with Pat Will, to me, it's no excuses. Now is the time to step up.
I was a big fan of Trey Jones coming from Duke. So
yes,
I was really excited when the Bulls signed him. That was I think he could definitely be the extra like floor general and such. He's kind of like that point guard that kind of, because he did that at Duke. He kind of like was the guy that was a floor general. So I was really excited. So I think he definitely can make. He could definitely make inroads with the Bulls. Now Okoro's sort of the jury's still out on him. I feel like he's another one of those 2020 guys that did get a chance to play in the tournament because of the COVID and all that weirdness. But I think he could definitely kind of be a good like starting forward, maybe especially if he and Matis have a nice little duo there in the front court. So we'll see what happens. I think Patrick. I think his college coach learned how to call him Lee Patrick like way back in the day. So I think you need to call him Lee. I believe I called that a couple of years ago. But yeah, I think like you said, TWB, then there's no excuses. Like, look, Zach's gone, DeMar's gone, Lonzo's gone, so it's basically him. And if he wants to get another one, that big payday, he's gonna have to start playing like it. Like he did, he's done well so far. He was kind of up and down, but yeah, he's got to be consistent throughout this season if he wants to be taken seriously as a legit player to get that big money.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We expect Matas Buzelis to be a contender for the NBA's Most Improved Player award, but I'll ask this question, sort of give me a prediction. T-Dub, I'll start with you. Well, what's two-parter here? Well, what chances do you give Matas Buzelis to win the NBA's Most Improved Player award? I think 6 or the last 7 award winners of the Most Improved Player have averaged 20 points or more for the season. And number 2, will the Bulls have a representative at the All-Star game this year in Los Angeles?
That's a great question. To answer the first, I don't see why he can't be most improved. I mean, he averaged 15 last season, so I don't understand with less superstar talent on this team and you're getting the ball more. I don't understand why you shouldn't be able to average 20. I mean, there's nobody there stopping you from doing it. The rings are off. Go have fun. You're playing with house money. So at this point, he wants to actually be that guy and be the face of the franchise. Now it's time to step up. So I don't see any scenario where he shouldn't be able to do it. Now, a lot of people get it kind of misconstrued as well about most improved, because sometimes most improved goes to players who were hurt and still averaging 20 and come back and average another 20 or something like that. So most improved is kind of a really tricky award to award somebody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because even last year we saw what Kobe White did and elevated. To me, I thought Kobe White should have won it last year. But it's one of those things where it's like, let's see how the year goes for a specific player. And but I agree. I definitely don't see there's no reason why he shouldn't be most improved. Now, all-star representation, I don't see that happening. Even though he would, let's say hypothetically, Montez Buzelis did average 20 points. I don't see it happening, because it goes to show that you also got to have a winning record. And I think the Bulls are probably going to struggle a little bit early But again, they're playing with house money, so anybody can average 20. But if you're not putting the games together to win, then you probably won't have an all-star.
Turb?
Matas, I believe, has a great chance of taking that this year. He's going to be what Jimmy was a couple years ago when he won that, when he was a baby bull. And I think Matas is going to show people that they overlooked him in this draft. I'm a big Bruce Ellis fan. I believe that he has the intangible to be the next big thing here in Chicago on both ends of the court. Defense, offense, it's there. Still has to be molded, but we'll see. He said himself he loves basketball. I love it when my players love the sport they're playing. Not to take it kind of Jokic, but you think about ponies. I got a guy think about hoops. I'd rather take that. You know what I mean? That's what I want. So you see the energy there, what I'm saying. But yeah, I think Buzelis has a great chance at that because a little overlooked last year, came on strong towards the end, and I think this year, barring any setbacks, I think it's a whole different constructed team for him, and he's in the lineup. Last year, he started in the G League a couple times. So this time, no, he is a focal point, and hopefully it happens. Now, All-Stars, really? Sorry, I'm calling my guy out here, but I think personally that two candidates for the Bulls that can do it. I get it what you said with the winning and losing. Trust me, I understand that. But first, look at the obvious one, Kobe. If Kobe can just keep doing what he's doing, I don't see why he can't go. Now, here's the other one, because I believe that if he can average a certain statistic throughout a certain part of the season, that will propel him into all-star status. Okay. That being Josh Giddey. If Josh can start getting close to those triple doubles, that we know last year he shot up the charts of how many, there's not many triple double records here for the Bulls. And Josh was marching through that. So sometimes that's enough to be, the flash and the flare to get you to where you want to be in an all-star game.
Dave?
So, I mean, y'all, like I said when I came on, y'all know how I feel about Modest Buzelis. Like, I love Modest Buzelis from the second they drafted him. I love Modest Buzelis. My brother, we were talking yesterday. He remembers me showing him Modest Buzelis elite team highlights before he.
Nice.
He hears. Okay, yeah.
We good?
Oh yeah,
we good?
yeah. Now we hear you. Now you're here. Gotcha.
All right,
we good now. Yeah.
I'll try to make this quick so it don't cut out on me. But I believe big and Modest, and I believe he has that opportunity to be most improved player because basically how Turbine said it. Like that kind of makeup, like that kind of dog he has, that kind of goon that dude is as a basketball player, he really believes it. Like I need those kind of guys on the team, especially in this city. You love those kind of guys who think like that. And that's just great. When we were doing the show Friday, and my guy Will was talking about, if we remember when Patrick Williams was saying this, how he's, can be an all-star, he can be an all-pro.
Look, I'll just jump here for like I said. I think Montel, he's been very impressive from the highlights I've seen. I think he's definitely added more like lean muscle to him. And I definitely think could he, all-star. I think that might be a little bit much, but look, he's 21 now. He can kind of, grow into his body and just improve and just get the fundamentals part, if you will, of the game. Going, and then he could probably be that next big star for the Bulls, what people love seeing in Chicago. So I think Montel could definitely make a big step up this season.
Yeah. No, and excuse me. I'll say this part quicker. I 100% agree with Turbine on Josh Giddey being an all-star.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Because of the numbers he is going to put up. Not because I feel like he's going to affect winning or anything like that. But Giddey put
exactly. Well, we got just about. We got just what you're gonna say. Dave. This is Second City Sports on Sports Chicago. LaKeena McGee, Sidney Brown with you. Our wonderful NBA panel. Big Dave Watson from CHGO Bulls and T-Dub Boyos and DJ Turbine from the Fundamentals of WVO. And let's talk about the rest of the NBA for a little bit here, guys. And Turb, I'll start with you. Who do you think will have the biggest impact with these guys? Going to new places like KD going to Houston. Bradley Beal going to the Clippers, Porzingis going to Atlanta, DeAndre Ayton going to the Lakers. Who do you think will have the biggest impact with their new team? Or if there's another name that I didn't mention.
I got one. I was thinking about this a little bit earlier today because I was trying to think of my dark horses. So for me, and I think it's a dark horse because I believe this team needed it. But I'm gonna go with Desmond Bane being traded to the Orlando Magic. I believe that they needed help, and they were looking at Kobe first. They need scoring, and Desmond, he was doing his stuff in Memphis, but now it's like this team over there in Orlando, they have the components. They have from Paolo, from Wagner. They have a lot of stuff there that's pretty nice. So I think that this could be the piece that could have put them over. I think, it was an early on move, and, it wasn't one of the flashy ones, but I really did like that addition for Orlando.
T-Dub?
I like Anthony Simons over in Boston. I think that was a tough trade to have to do to get rid of Drew Holiday. I mean, I hated it at first, I'm not going to lie. But watching a couple of preseason games, and Anthony fits right in, especially with the offense and knowing that you won't be getting JT back anytime soon. So I think this is actually something that also helps them get younger, but also helps them be able to score the basketball while JT is out. So I think this works out perfectly for them. It kind of feels like a hand-in-glove fit so far. I know it's preseason, but I really do like this move.
100% agree with that. 100% agree with you on that. It's Kevin Durant. I mean, it's Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? On the Houston Rockets, bro. Like, and he's gonna really get an opportunity, with Van Fleet being hurt and being out. Like, that just kind of elevated what they want more of from Durant, who just signed another extension, to stick around. So, man, he's gonna make that team even more fun to watch, and he's gonna affect them on both sides of the floor. Giving a guy you can just give the ball to and know is going to get a bucket, but also can defend whoever he needs to on the other end. I mean, they were already the number 2 seed last year in the West, man. You add Kevin Durant to that, like, it's going to be a fun team to absolutely watch. And it just makes it better and easier for them if they have any issues at that point guard position. If Reed Shepherd, doesn't, come to fruition as they want, or anything happens, if a Sir Thompson goes down or anything, you got Kevin Durant. You'll be okay. You'll be just fine.
Oh, and his mic didn't go out, so yeah, that's a big win. That's a big win for their.
For me, LaKeena, I want to piggyback off DJ Turpine's pick with Desmond Bane. I think he's definitely going to help the Orlando Magic. Remember last year, they even though they did make the playoffs, last year, even though they got bounced by Boston in 5 games. That team was injured, and I give Jamal Mosley, their head coach, credit. I think if Orlando can stay healthy, they finish in the top 3, top 5. He's a sneaky candidate for Coach of the Year. You heard it here first. But my player for me, actually, I have 2. One is Miles Turner. Now with the Milwaukee Bucks, I want to see how him and Giannis can work together in that front court. It may be for 1 year. It depends on what Giannis, how he feels, end quote, at the end of the year. It depends on how Milwaukee finishes. And number 2, RIP to Tommy Heinz, but Marcus Smart now with the Los Angeles Lakers is bringing some type of defensive presence over to the Lakers. I know LeBron James is going to start the year on the injured list, but Marcus Smart bringing that defensive attitude to that Lakers squad is definitely going to help them. Maybe not so at the start of the year, but definitely when it gets to March, able as they prepare to go into the playoffs, assuming everybody stays healthy, including Luka Doncic. I think Marcus Smart will be a definite impact on the floor and definitely in that locker room as well.
I kind of feel like, okay, like I said, I'll go outside. I think Porzingis in Atlanta is going to be a very interesting pick because I think he's a big guy that could, not only do it on the inside and a little bit on the outside as well. And he needs that scoring assistance from Trae Young, so that's really going to be a thing here. And, Bradley Beal and Paul George going to the Clippers. I think the key for me is going to be, can all those guys stay healthy? Like, that's really going to be the key here with the Clippers because it's one of those days where Kawhi Leonard and what happened between him and Steve Ballmer will probably never really know for sure what transpired with that whole thing. But that's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. I think Norman Powell going to Miami, that might be another one that could be interesting down there. So that could be an intriguing pick there too. So so I know. Look, a lot of these guys, it's gonna be interesting to see. All these. You kind of have to have a quiz to like, go, oh wait, that guy's over there now. Okay, so yeah, it's one of those types of things. But yeah, should be interesting to see what happens this season with all these new faces and new places.
Yeah, and I would like to see maybe some midseason trades as well happen. and more so guys leaving the West coming to the East, because I expect the East to be more wide open, except for maybe the top 2-3 teams. It's going to be pretty wide open. So if guys really want that opportunity, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm seeing some big names move over to the Eastern Conference.
No, I 110% agree with you on that, because after the top big three, I mean, like you said, it's wide open.
Oh yeah, just wait for someone to come get it. I do give honorable mentions to the Clippers too.
Yeah,
when they got Chris Paul and all them. They're deep. They're deep. We'll see if they can stay healthy, because I made the joke saying that backup, the bench could be a starting 5 in the East.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all about health. It's all about health.
You ain't lying.
It's all about the health. It's all about health. That's all it is. It's all about the health now.
That's real.
Yeah, speaking of the Eastern Conference, I agree with you, Dave. I think it's Cleveland and New York and everybody else, as the great NC Hammer once said. Everybody else can go run and play. But I want to ask you guys about the New York Knicks. Of course, you have new head coach Mike Brown. Most of the players were sick of Thibodeau after last year's playoff loss to the Indiana Pacers. They got Jordan Clarkson, I believe, over there now. I'll start with you, DJ Turbine. What do you expect for the Knicks this year? Well, according to the franchise, and of course, me or their crazy fans, is NBA Finals or bust. What do you expect for the Knicks this year?
I'm on the same boat of the whole NBA Finals or bust, because if this doesn't end with them in Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals, at least prove it. Because I feel like we already talked about it. It's wide open after them. You have your other teams, but for New York specifically, I do want to see how this changes, because I know Tibbs is a hard, but he does have them with an intensity, and he makes them play pretty hard. I get how they got tired last year. I get it. Last year they were complaining like crazy, so they probably with their wits end. I just want to see what dynamic changes of this team. Granted, they have all the same makeup from that last year, at least the core, but how does that change? Do you guys play harder? Do you guys play, looser? Like, what is the actual reaction? But I do still expect them not to, by any means, they're not going to be bad. They're going to be still, probably dominating the East, and probably my pick is Cleveland to go 1. I think they're going to finish second.
Dave?
So I preface this by saying I hate the New York Knicks.
There you go. I was waiting on it.
I don't give a damn about the New York Knicks. All right? I was waiting. Just got to preface that before I get into that. Like, there's no love for the New York Knicks in my heart. Right?
Even Dante DiVincenzo.
Hey, but with that said, I do think the Knicks will go to the NBA Finals this season. I knew Tibbs was going to be going. I said it when they got him. I was like, give him 5. He's out. It's always Tibbs and 5. Like Shannon Sharp used to say, Lakers and 5. It's Tibbs and 5. You know what I mean? Who's there, bro? You know what I mean? Derrick Rose rolls in the concrete. Tibbs and 5. Like, it's going to happen. Like, that's going to go down. He's not going to make it after over 5 years. But I like the coaching change of Mike Brown. I think he's a great coach. And they have a really great team, man. Like, one thing Tibbs always does do is lay a foundation for how you're supposed to play. Like, he's a great coach. Like, he's just, overexerts it sometimes. And that's why it doesn't really last. And just a little bit, LaKeena, just a little bit. And team, players get a little sick of that, a little tired of that. But he tells you exactly how he wants you to play, and he sets the tone, and he gives you a foundation for how you to play when he, is relieved of his duties. But yeah, I think Mike Brown is a really good coach and the right coach for them. And I expect them to be in the finals. And I agree, it's finals or bust. Like, it really is. Like, if they don't go to the finals, what was it all for? Like, what did Jalen Brunson take pay cuts for? What did you get rid of Tibbs for? Like, what did you do all this for? You trying to go to the NBA finals. That is it. And I expect them to be there.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you guys. I expect them to be in the finals, but I honestly, I'm not a big fan of the coaching change. I think that Tibbs was actually a really good coach for them. Yes, I do understand that the players did get burnt out and they complained about it, but the way they handled it was just, to me, a little unprofessional. Giving grievances and writing anonymous letters is crazy in any sport doing that, but hey, that's just my opinion. But I don't like it just because of the fact is that, unfortunately, Mike Brown has this reputation of being a good coach for only a couple years. And what I mean is that he might can get them to the finals, or he might can do it next year. Let's say somebody steps up and beats them in the East this year. So I give him 1 to 2 years, and then all of a sudden the wheels start to kind of fall off on the teams that he coaches. And then that's when you look at starting to making a head coaching change. So I don't want the Knicks to be back in this situation in another 3 years. So it's kind of one of those things where, I expect you to be there, but I'm not sure if you actually brought in the right guy, because this is New York. I mean, all the lights, cameras, action is all on you as a head coach. The whole world is watching. It's what they call it, the Mecca basketball. We know the Mecca basketball Chicago, but neither that's here nor there. But it's just so much. It's so much light on you, and so much pressure when it comes to that job, and how that organization has been so misfunctional throughout these years. So I hope that they get it right. I'm rooting for Mike Brown, but I'm not sure if this was actually what they needed in order to fix the team. But I do expect them to be in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Bridges said what he said, so that's my thing. When all that started, if they started kind of falling off, I think he kind of spoke for a lot of the guys initially. Got to actually put his name on it. I think there's really no excuse. I mean, look, you got Bridges, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, Cat. I mean, all those guys, and also got OG Anunoby. If he can stay healthy, I think the foundation is there. It's just that you got to make sure you got to get the players to get it going. So for me, I think it's really just gonna like T-Dub said, it's gonna be one of those things where will it kind of go off like in 2-3 years? Are we gonna have the same conversation with Mike Brown, another head coach, for the Knicks? So, but yeah, we've seen this movie before with Tibbs in Chicago. I mean, guys are just like, okay, they just like, whatever, after a few years, it's a little bit too much and guys get hurt and whatever. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I don't know. I know it's finals or bust, but I would be surprised if Cleveland sneaks there. I know that's going to be interesting to see what happens there on that front.
Okay, let's move over to the Western Conference. We talked about the Lakers a little bit. We talked about the Rockets, the Clippers. I want to talk about the Denver Nuggets. I think they're my sneaky pick to represent the Western Conference. Here's why. Nikola Jokic is going to be a candidate for MVP again. Jamal Murray is going to be healthy for the first time in a couple of years to start the year. Let's not forget Aaron Gordon. If he wasn't injured last year in Game 7, he missed Game 7 against OKC. If he wasn't injured, you could definitely make the case of Denver beating OKC, despite them getting rid of their GM and Mike Malone before the last week of the season last year. But with that being said, Michael Porter Jr. out, he's in Brooklyn. Russell Westbrook out, he's in Sacramento. In Bruce Brown, the key guy for the 2023 championship. And you have Tim Hardaway Jr., who me personally, I think that's one of the best moves this offseason that no one's talking about. I'll start with you, Big Dave. What do you think about the Denver Nuggets? Providing that they stay healthy, I think it's going to be them and OKC in the Western Conference Finals.
Oh yeah, that's hard to argue. Denver, I love what they did in getting Cam Johnson. Like, I thought it was a perfect move for them. Like, Cam Johnson, don't be surprised if he has a 40-point game. Like, seriously, because Joker is going to be getting a ton of assists to that young man. He's going to be wide open for a lot of those 3-point shots.
I love technology. Turb, jump in.
Gotcha. So when it comes to the Nuggets, those additions, I'm fairly happy with them because we've seen that this team at the 2 has been very fluid for the last couple of years, and the fact that you bring back Bruce Brown, who was a key cog in that championship team, his shooting could not be undermined to the success of what they did that year. Granted, Jokic is Jokic, but he's the one that helps get him open and helps. You have to have a floor like that to be able to get the spacing. Tim Hardaway Jr. also does the same thing. We're spreading it out. Cam Johnson coming in, very underrated two-way player. Just because he was in Brooklyn doesn't mean he's bad. He was just there. So him being there is a sneaky pickup because now you put somebody with real, actual serviceable talent in a scenario where it's there to be used for the right purposes. It's going to help them. I think last year with Russ being there, as fun as it was, seeing Russ kind of get a little fun, moments in the sun, it really kind of messed up the mojo a little bit. And, good luck to him in Sacramento. I know him and the Cali boys, Zach and DeMar, and have fun. But there in Denver, I think that I don't see why they shouldn't. I think that the league has got wised up to them because if you're still not preparing for them, I know the Thunder are the champions right now, but you still got to play through, in a sense, that team because they are always tough to beat. And I told Titus this so many times in the fundamentals that the only way I can see the Nuggets ever being beaten, and to me, I've been validated in my opinion, when they lost back in the day to the Lakers, when they had the combination of AD, Dwight, and JaVale, 3 bigs that you could throw at Jokic to make him get tuckered out. Last year, wasn't it against they got knocked out by the Wolves? If I'm wrong? And maybe if it was the Wolves, it was a combination of you had Randall, you had Reed, you had Gobert. You had to have 3 serviceable bigs to tucker him out. So I think that's the blueprint. I think it's been validated. So the rest of the West has to play to them. Again, when you look at the Thunder, they do have 3 serviceable big stacks to compete with that, with Chet, Isaiah. I believe there was one more I'm missing right now, but but Thunder should still be meaning up Thunder. The Nuggets should definitely be in the Western Conference Finals, if not in the final.
I'll just say it real quick. Yeah, I agree. The Thunder are going though. Thunder will repeat. I don't have anybody beating that team. That team is special. That team is special, man. Like, what did they do to get worse? Like, seriously, like they are the same team. Like, so somebody's gonna have to knock them off. And they're young. You know what I mean? And they're just terrifying. That's a terrifying team. They're fun to watch. They have something to prove. I think they have a chip on their shoulder because a lot of people are saying, well, if Halliburton played, y'all would have lost. So now they got stuff to prove, So we'll see how it goes, man. But I think they'll still be hungry this season. But I expect them, and I would say Denver. I agree with Denver being there in the finals, Western Conference Finals. But I'm not shocked at anything. And last thing, I'm going to be excited to watch the Lakers and the chaos that's about to happen there. It's going down. It's going down. LeBron about to burn some stuff, man. About to burn some things. I can't wait to watch this because Luka is going to ball. Luka is going to ball out. Luka is super nice. Like, I can't wait to watch Luka ball out. But it's going to be a drama going on in LA, and I can't wait to watch that.
No, I love Denver. Actually, I agree with Sid on this one. That's my dark horse team this season. I love all the moves that they made in free agency this offseason. I mean, from the pickups of Bruce Brown, I thought that was a huge move to get him. The Cam Johnson trade, a very underrated two-way player. I was hoping that the Bulls actually would have tried to trade for him. But still, going to Denver and playing with that and playing with Jokic, oh, my goodness, loving it. Tim Hardaway Jr. being able to stretch the floor was serviceable in Detroit last year. Fortunately, didn't get a lot of tick when it was playoff time. But still, I mean, you added veteran players who know their roles and who are really good role players. And so for this to come in with a new head coach this season, having a full season to actually get it done, with Jokic being healthy and in the right state of mind, like you said, Jamal Murray is being healthy, there's no reason why this team shouldn't be in the West Finals. But I do agree with everybody else. You got to beat the man. So I just don't see nobody beating OKC, though.
Yeah, the OKC thing is really fascinating because I know that they feel like they have a chip on their shoulder because, like you said, Dave, I mean, if Halliburton had not gotten hurt, some people would say, oh, y'all probably would have lost. That unfortunately that's probably their mindset at this point. So I'm thinking that this is probably going to, and they're young too. I think that's really going to help them as their youth. Now, could maybe Denver be a sleeper? Maybe. Could Minnesota? I'm a little worried. I think they might take a step back. One of the LA teams, maybe. We'll see how Houston does, especially with KD over there now. The West is going to be interesting to watch. But yeah, it's really the Thunder and everybody else.
Yeah. See, to me, that's the also thing I want to pick up on, LaKeena, was the fact that most championship teams always have a chip on their shoulder when they win something. So, maybe the Bulls got lucky back in the 90s. They won 2 in a row. Okay, maybe they just beat lesser competition. No, to me, when you win a championship, you win a championship. So I understand it went down to Game 7 and that Halliburton didn't play, but them boys balled all year. So you got to prove it this time.
All right, the last moment or two right here on Second City Sports on Sports Zone Chicago's 2025-26. So Chicago Bulls / NBA Preview Hour. LaKeena McGee, my co-host, Big Dave Watson, DJ Turbo, and Titus T. Dub Williams all join us here. The last question from me, and we'll end on this. Speaking of OKC, last year NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said this, and I quote, "Welcome to a new era in the NBA," as he was handing the trophy over to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, some people stared at the TV and said nothing, while others gave Adam Silver, I'm sure, the middle finger or mumbled something on their breath. Yours truly laughed for 2 seconds and said, yeah, he's right. Welcome to the new era of the NBA. The reason why I'm bringing this up, we're entering a new age in television in the NBA. The first of the 11-year agreement between the NBA with the NBA now returning to NBC, ESPN, ABC, of course. Amazon Prime is in this on it as well. Streaming on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Coming up Thursdays after the NFL season is over with. But I cannot wait until the return of the new NBA on NBC tomorrow with their doubleheader. Houston, OKC, followed by Luka and the LeBron James list. Lakers against Golden State Warriors. DJ Turbine, I'll start with you. What do you think about this new era of television and NBA starting tomorrow?
I like it. I have Peacock, so I'm right there. I already have Prime, so I'm ready to go. I just wish the Bulls would make it easier for me to watch them. But I'm glad I can watch the rest of the league. Like that. I mean, I have YouTube TV, and apparently it's not enough for the Bulls. So, but as the rest of the league goes, it's the evolution of media. We're in that age now. You have to get basically about maybe 3-7 other streaming services just to catch everything at this point in life, and I feel like that is a new one. Am I a big fan of that? No, but it's the new modern era of media that we're in, and you have a product that you have. Each team has 82 games, so that put that by how many other teams? There's a lot of ball to be put out there, so I understand trying to maximize your capital there, but we're here, we're in it again. Chicago Bulls, pick it up.
Turb. I mean, Titus T-Dub, sorry.
No, I agree with that, with everything that Turbine said, because the fact is that I'm still mad at the Bulls for what they're doing with CHSN. Like, come on, man, just please make it easy for us to watch the game. I'm gonna give them credit. They did try, subscription, and they're finally on Comcast, but I'm still gonna give them a little gripe every time I get a chance to get on the airways with DJ Turbine and the Fundamentals. But I'm loving it. I'm actually a big fan of the NBA going back to NBC, and especially since we get to see Michael Jordan as an NBA analyst. Like, how great is that? Somebody who doesn't actually be in the limelight a lot and speak to the media a lot to be actually part of the NBA or NBC team. I can't wait to see how he criticizes the NBA and critiques it and all that stuff, and just what his mind is thinking. So I'm really excited for it. I love all of it. Again, just wish we could see our local television broadcast a little bit better. Hopefully they fix that sometime soon. But just in general, with this whole new era, I love it because the NBA is also changing faces. And, LeBron, Steph, the KDs, everybody's getting older. You got the Victor Wembanyama's now and all of the other young guys making names for themselves, the whole OKC team. So it's about time for change, and then change is always good.
Yeah, and change, I mean, it's inevitable. You know what I mean? That's the only constant in life is change. It's going to happen. So you can either roll with it or get left behind on it. So you don't have to like it, but change is going to happen. It was funny when he said the new era, welcome to the new era, because it's a fact. Even looking at the team of OKC, watching them celebrate, I had never seen that much alcohol unopened in my life.
Right?
Like, I was like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This is a new era. This is a new thing, bro. Like, this is new. And I'm not dissing them for it. I'm just like, wow, it's just something I noticed. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, they ain't about that. Like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? That's your thing. That's your thing. That's all good. It's all love. Whatever helps you win. Whatever makes you a better person, I'm with it. So I thought that was new. You're absolutely right, Titus, about Jordan. Like, I'm all about that. And I want to see that. So I believe the picture came out today of how the setup is with Jordan. It's basically they're going to play it at halftime tomorrow. It's called Insights to Excellence.
Yep.
Is what it's called. And he said, and I loved it because Jordan is like sitting in a lair. You know what I mean? Talking to Mike Tirico, like how he's about to take out James Bond or something. Like, it looked great. It looks amazing. Yeah. Like, it looks amazing. I can't wait to see it. So those changes I'm okay with. I have no problem with the changes. You just have to learn to adapt. Yes, they're making it harder, the Bulls, making it harder to actually view it. But, Everybody got their ways. If you need some help on the ways to watch the Bulls, I'll let your boy. I got your bag. You feel me, turn?
R.I.P. Streamies, ramen told.
But yeah, there are ways to access it. I just wish it was easier to see it, but I have no problem. I mean, you're still going to get the NBA on TNT Crew. They'll be on ESPN. That's going to be great to see. I would love to see how this new stuff turns out with Amazon Prime. And how they have those guys, because some guys they have I really enjoy listening to. Other guys I'm just not huge fans of listening to them, not because they're great analysts or something. Like some of them just sound just boring, for lack of a better word. But I'm very interested to watch it though and see how it all works out. And I mean, it's the NBA. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna not tune in. However they present it to me, I'm gonna be there to watch it. So yeah, I'm gonna get my league pass together. I'm gonna get my other ways of watching the game together, and I'm gonna enjoy the season, man, and sit back and watch what they do.
I'm right with you all. I mean, like Turb, I'm with you. I got YouTube TV as well, so I can't watch the Bulls, but thankfully, thanks to bundles, like I have Peacock and Prime, so I'm just like, okay, I can watch the rest of the NBA and such. And look, it is what it is with the whole thing with the streaming stuff. It's like people need options, so. This should be interesting to see what happens. NBC's going all nostalgia with their coverage, so we'll see how that works out for them. And I mean, there's definitely a new era in the NBA. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But it should be a fun season, with both on and off the court. So it's gonna be interesting to see how all this kind of shapes out, especially with Jordan, how he's gonna be used, during their coverage on NBC. And like you said, Big Dave, with the Amazon crew. I mean, some of these guys are like, they've done it for years, I like it, but some are like, wait, what? Why you that person? But whatever. Right. But whatever. But it is what it is. But yeah, it should be fun starting tomorrow. How all this is gonna shake out with the coverage and how all this stuff's produced.
Yeah, and not to rub it in, I am a Comcast Xfinity subscriber, so I will be watching the Bulls just a little bit more this year. I'm not saying every game, but I'll be watching it just a little bit more this year. And congratulations to a friend of the show, Cam Smith. He's the new host of the Bulls pregame and postgame show on CHSA. Him and Kendall Gill will do a great job.
Shout out.
So congratulations to him. So he'll be getting down with it starting on Wednesday as the Bulls will host the Detroit Pistons, of course. As we mentioned, NBC will start their coverage tomorrow with a doubleheader. ESPN will start theirs on Wednesdays and Thursday. As Dave mentioned, we'll see the inside the NBA crew for both those nights. And, of course, Amazon Prime, you'll see them on Friday and Saturday. And go to NBA.com to check out the rest of the schedule. So one last question for all the panel. As LaKeena would say, we'll write this in pencil. We'll check it back in with you guys in February. Who's your dark horse for MVP? Who's your NBA Finals matchup? T-Dub, we'll start with you.
Okay. I like it. I will go with the finals first. I would definitely say the New York Knicks will be going against the OKC Thunder. And MVP, I'm going to go out there and say something really risky. I think that Giannis is going to get it. I think he's going to step up. I think he's going to step up. He's got something to prove. And I know Dame's gone and it didn't work out, but I think he has something to prove up there.
All right, Dave?
I'm going to say
the Suns.
Turf? All right, Turf, you go.
At finals, I'm going to go ahead and expect OKC to go back there, and I expect Cleveland to be the matchup. And my MVP, I don't mean, you can be MVP and not go far in the playoffs, but mine, because I have a real big support for this guy, but Anthony Edwards. I believe that he is going to be on a tear. There's no reason that he can't. He's a dog, and he likes to compete. He's a competitor. So put that together in this stage of his career. Why not?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to say just quick, Joker MVP is what I'm going to go with. Luka, I mean, for me, might be a dark horse. But OKC and the Knicks in the finals, and I think OKC takes it again.
Yeah, I think OKC goes back-to-back, and they're also going to play the Knicks. And I'll go the reverse with you, Dave. I'll go Luka wins MVP, but Jokic is going to be a dark horse, I think. All right, Sidney.
Quickly, I know the last 7 NBA. I know the last 7 NBA champions have been different. Welcome to the new era of the NBA with the different champions with parity we have in the league now. But I'm going with the small market NBA Finals again. Denver and Cleveland will meet in NBA Finals. I think Denver will take the title. And I'm going to hop on this train until at least February. Hopefully this guy stays healthy. And I think this team coming out the West could be a dark horse and make it to the play-in, perhaps the playoffs. But Victor Wembanyama of the San Antonio Spurs, I'm jumping on that bandwagon for right now for him getting MVP.
All right. That could look. A lot of people say San Antonio could be a sleeper come for the play-in. So we'll see. Should be interesting. All right, guys.
Remember, they were 500 last year before he got hurt at the All-Star break.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, they probably could have made the at least a play-in if he had not gotten hurt. So. We'll see what Stanley Johnson brings to the table there with them. Now, this has been so much fun, guys. As always, Turb, I'll start with you. Where we can find you guys on the fundamentals, and I know Dave with CHGO and all that good stuff.
You can find me on Instagram under Turbine. Every Friday night, me, this guy over here to my virtual left, we do the fundamentals 9 to midnight. Me and the crew, we had a couple other boys with us that, shout out to Uncle Day Day and Ryan James. Those are part of our family over here. And, catch us on Fridays. We have a good time over there.
All right. T-Dub?
Yes, to piggyback off what DJ Turbine said, you can find us on the Fundamentals Fridays here on WVON 1690 from 9 to midnight. We love doing the show. We have a great time. You guys are always welcome on the platform whenever you want. We got a lot to talk about this Friday, so thank you again for having me. And you can find me again at Titus Will 22 on Facebook, and then on Instagram you can find me at TDub3Bs22.
All right, and 10 years at VON for Mr. Titus. I remember you first intern there. So
yes,
now he's a PD over there now. So he's definitely worked his way up from there. Now, Big Dave, what about you?
Twitter BAWL Sports, Bow Sports. CHGO Bulls, pre-game, post-game, after the game, any kind of game, we're there. We're there.
I was waiting on it. Bow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 4:30 p.m. We do the off-day shows, and during the regular season, like I said, pre-game and post after the game. So, yeah, we always talking Bulls every day. Like, we don't stop. And tune in, laugh, cry, throw hats. Shout out to my man,
yes.
Shout out to Will the Go Gottlieb and the whole team that helps us, put that show together. So tune in, check it out, enjoy.
All right, guys, it's been so much fun as always. We'll see if this stuff comes to fruition by February. Like I said, you guys can change if you choose to, like I said, write it in pencil. But guys, it's been so much fun. Tita, Turb, tell everybody the fundamentals. We said what's up. Bait Day, tell Matt and the rest of the guys at THGO. We said what's up as well. So you guys enjoy the NBA season, and like I said, we'll do this again in All-Star break in February.
Looking forward to it.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, you guys take care.
All right, that was a lot of fun, Sid. And again, I think this is going to be interesting to see like what this new era of the NBA on television, especially that's really going to be the key here. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and also before we
just to wrap up real quick, I know we got to get up out of here, but the Inside the NBA crew, hold on. Yeah, just real quick, the Inside the NBA crew, they'll make their debut on Wednesday on ESPN. They'll be on this Thursday as well on ESPN. I know they're supposed to have an online show every week. I'm not sure about that. We'll get into that in another episode. But the next time you'll see them on TV after this week will be on Christmas Day. So it's going to be interesting how ESPN handles the Inside the NBA crew. So definitely looking forward to that. And of course, tomorrow is the return of the new NBA on NBC. I'm interested to see how they're going to do this intro because remember tomorrow, just tomorrow only, they're going to have a 1 hour pregame show starting at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how that goes. And also ESPN has a doubleheader. So in a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals, perhaps you got Cleveland and the Knicks at 6 o'clock on ESPN. And also after that, you got San Antonio and Dallas. We didn't talk about Dallas, that whole thing. So we'll see. Maybe they'll make us pay for it. But also the Bulls, they post Detroit at 7 o'clock
right.
also on Wednesday. So Also, OKC in Indiana on ESPN at 6:30 rematch of the NBA Finals. No Halliburton, unfortunately. But also after that, you got Denver and Golden State at 9 o'clock on ESPN. ESPN, your new home of the Thursday night doubleheader.
Yep. And speaking of the new networks, I'm interested to see what Amazon Prime does. Also, shout out to Chicago's very own Cassidy Hubbard. She made the move over there to Amazon Prime. She's going to be part of the #1 team over there now, so she's going to do a great job. Also, Christina Pink and Allie Clifton, she's with the Lakers during the regular season. She's going to be part of that coverage as well. So, as you said, just to put a cap on it, don't forget, locally, the Chicago Bulls, they'll open up the season on Wednesday, rather, against the Detroit Pistons at the UC at 7 p.m. Those of you going to the game, of course, get there early. For the rest of us, you can watch CHSN if you can, or find other avenues to watch it. Get a VPN. But LaKeena, I'm excited for this new season to begin. As NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said, well, it's a new era of the National Basketball Association, whether you love it or hate it.
Yeah, whether you like it or not. So definitely in the air for not being on a turn anymore, but we just see what happens with their coverage as well. How Amazon produces their coverage. They're gonna have their logo all over the place. We saw their studio. They're gonna have like Prime. They got like Prime logo everywhere. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Now, real quick before we go, shout out to the Blackhawks. They've gone 3-0-1 in their last 4 games. They got a nice overtime win against the Ducks. Ryan Donato got the game winner in overtime, just under 3 minutes in overtime. So they've been playing a lot better than the Hawks have. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to be compete for the division title, but it's like they are playing harder. And as Biz said on last week on Wednesday when they blew out the Blues, put your dishes back in, grandmas. The Hawks are back, or something like that. It's some silliness that Biz said.
And a couple of things on the Hawks that we definitely got to get up out of here. They're doing a special episode of their 100th anniversary season. The first episode dropped last Thursday. The next episode dropped, I believe, this Thursday at noon. Go to ChicagoBlackhawks.com or go to their official YouTube page to catch the episode. The first episode was very good. So check that out. And number 2, Spencer Knight. We still have a long way to go, but looks like he's going to become that dude in goal in net for the Hawks.
He looks really good. He kind of made a couple of center your head saves last night over there with the Ducks. Their next game will be against the Lightning on Thursday. You can actually catch that game on ESPN Plus if you have it, and also on Hulu Live Sports. So if you don't have CHS, you can watch it if you got ESPN Plus or on Hulu Plus Live TV on their streaming service. So you can catch their next game. So they get a few days off to kind of chill and relax and celebrate a little bit. That Ducks win, but they go right back to work on Thursday.
All right, close us out. Take us home.
You follow McGee McGee on the Twitter, execute us again at IG.
You can follow yours truly, Sidney Brown, on the Twitter, X, and the IG at SidKid80. Once again, it's SidKid80. That's SIDKID80. SIDKID80. Be sure to download that Sports Zone Chicago app wherever you get your apps. Please follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube. And thank you very much in advance for your support.
Like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends.
Be sure to catch Second City Sports Live in Living Color every Monday, every Friday from 12:15 to 2:15 p.m. Central Standard Time right here on Sports Zone Chicago. One more again, as the kids would say. Be sure to catch Second City Sports Live in Living Color every Monday, every Friday from 12:15 to 2:15 p.m. Central Standard Time right here on Sports Zone Chicago.
And if you missed our NBA panel today, where were you? But don't worry, you can go back and watch the replays.
On the replay.
Everywhere, whether our NFL Power Hour, if you missed it earlier, don't worry, you can catch that there as well when we do our NFL picks. Also, you can catch replays of Sean Sierra Sports, the Smoke Fellas, and all the other great content. You can catch the replays anytime, anywhere. Just go to Sports Social Facebook, YouTube channels.
And we will provide.
So many sports, Sid. You got Game 7. We will see Mariners and the Blue Jays. Hopefully, we get a good one tonight. You've got the NBA starting. You got college football, college hoops. They're starting to get to go with their exhibition games and whatnot. Of course, the NFL as well. And also other sports as well coming up too, about to start. So definitely a good time, a busy time of year for sports fans everywhere.
Yes, and we can't wait for the NBA to get started.
All right, so enjoy that opener, the opening couple days of the NBA. We'll talk about that, on Friday for Sid on the Keys of Second City Sports on Sports Chicago, and we'll see you guys on Friday.
Only the Bulls and go Bears. Holla!